stream, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome in, you guys. For everybody that is joining us, it is so good to see you on this fine morning. It's like 11 a.m. here, 10 a.m. on the out there on the West Coast. That's morning. That's morning. Welcome in, everybody. If you happen to be a part of the very first 600 people that are joining our live today, make sure to say what's good down below in that chat. I'm gonna try to say hey to as many of y'all as possible before we hop into the festivities of the afternoon. Jenna, how we doing? Cricks, what is going on? Brooklyn, good to see you. Karma Cooks, welcome in. Felicity, hope all is well. G, what is up? Welcome in, everyone, to the very first 1.2 thousand people joining us for the afternoon. Make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen. Just tippity tap it away on that phone screen. It really helps the live send out more, so we could draw the crazy MAGA supporters in here to hopefully have some productive linear dialogue. Additionally, make sure that you're sharing this live out with a handful of friends, reposting it, spamming that comment section. The early engagement really does matter. But anyways, folks, we are live today significantly earlier than I am on most days. Usually I wait until around 2 to 3 p.m. But today we are live super duper early. So hopefully later in the afternoon, I can take my girlfriend out for a date. It's been a while since I've taken her on an evening date because I'm usually live in the evening. So that's what I'm going to be doing later tonight. So I thought I should go live earlier. Now, if you are watching, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. If you are watching and you are an American adult, meaning that you are from America and you are 18 plus and you support Donald J. Trump as president, go ahead and hop in that queue. I will tell you guys that today we are going to be placing a special preface on, the style of debate that we were kind of doing last night, if you were watching, where we maybe had a panel of 45 people up at a time, and then I was giving like individual prompts. I think that we're going to put more of a focus on that today. It's going to be super fun. I can't wait. But let's go ahead and get that very first guest up of the day. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm still a little bit tired. I didn't wake up until too long ago. So let's just see if we could get into the groove. Start off the debates for the day. One last time here. Only join the queue if and only if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president, or you're going to be banned. What's going on? Inio. How do you pronounce your name? Well, I guess we'll never learn. Oh, wait, he's back. Hi, welcome in.
I did send a request on accident. I'm actually
banned. I'm just kidding. You're not banned. I did just send you back to the comment section. You have a good rest of your day. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, gal. I'm actually going to go to put the rules up on screen. Age right now.
Hello?
Hey, age, please, quite frankly.
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can. How old are you?
19, May 16th, 06.
Very nice. I'm sorry, the pit vipers just kind of threw me off. I don't know. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do, but I've grown to not support him as much since I've been watching you.
Okay, dude, that's awesome. Well, how about this? Let me ask you this clarifying question. Knowing everything that you do now, if you're teleported back to November, would you still begrudgingly vote for Trump?
No.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. King, I'm really happy to hear that. That's actually really phenomenal. Good for you, man. Dude, show some love to King down below that chat. That's what we love to hear. We love to hear it. We love to hear it. W guest. We're gonna go to move on to the next guest here, folks. Like I said, we're gonna get warmed up, and then we are going to kind of hop into that Jubilee-esque surrounded style of debates where we are filling the panel with Trump supporters and doing a single prompt at a time. I just need to get a little bit warmed up first. What's going on? Do you support Trump? Brayden is gone. All right, guys, we're going to go to put the rules up on screen right there. Just make sure that you're following them if you're hopping inside of the queue, y'all. Make sure that you're following them if you're hopping inside of the queue. And if you do happen to be one of the very first 3.3 thousand people hanging out with us, let me know how your day's been so far down below in that comment section. It's a Friday fun day. I hope everyone's in a good mood and having a good day. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, age, please.
18.
What year were you born in?
2001.
And are you in a bathroom?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because
Wait, you said 2001? Bruh, I'm sorry. It took me a second to compute. I'm not gonna lie. I need to actually start listening to what the guests say, right? Because I totally heard him say 2001. I just didn't care because I wasn't really listening. Jesus Christ, I need to get better at that. I need to get way better at that. 2001. Okay, all right, buddy. Right, we're not in 2019 anymore. It's 2025. Do the math. Come on, bro. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. We got KJ loaded up into the box. By the way, guys, you're gonna see me mute my mic and lean off to the side of the screen. That's gonna be a
You're
trial.
so sexy. I want to.
Just because I'm having some allergies this morning, so I'm gonna be doing that a lot just to blow my nose. But y'all, make sure if we're in that queue that we're following the rules. We're 6 minutes into the live, and 4,000 people watching us concurrently, and we still don't have one person that is ready and willing to come up here and talk to us about why they support Trump. Right? If we can't get one person to come up here, then we won't be able to fill the panel like we're intending to here. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. All right. And you're MAGA. Okay. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
20.
What year were you born in?
05, March 13th.
Okay. All right, you two. So you're both MAGA. I guess what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to start the stream over on YouTube. So if you two wouldn't mind just kind of giving me a moment here to get the stream started over there, that would be great.
Fine, go ahead.
Oh, KJ, I accidentally just kicked you. That was my bad. Feel free to hop back in that queue. I didn't mean to kick him. That's my bad. All right. One woke liberal, okay, versus 100 Trump supporters. What episode are we on? Let's see what the thumbnail says. The thumbnail always tells us. We're on episode 219. Perfect. Let's go to get the stream started over there. Everyone assume your positions. Hello and welcome into the stream for everybody that is joining us on YouTube, as well as everybody that has already joined us over on TikTok. It's so good to have you all in here with us on this fine Friday afternoon. Now, if you've never been here before, let me tell you what we do. We talk to Trump supporters, okay? We hear them out. We listen to why they still support the orange felon, and then eventually I try to change their mind, with an endorsement of fact, reason, and logic, in objection to their position. So the purpose of these streams is to attempt to change the mind of whomever I'm speaking with, but it's also to maybe try to change the mind of those listening in from home, watching the stream that support Trump, or also to better equip the liberals watching with the truth nukes and knowledge bombs required to then take home to your MAGA friends and family members to try to change their mind as well. Now, we already have our very first Trump supporter loaded in of the afternoon. Their name is Javier. Go ahead and take it away. You got the mic. Tell us why you support Donald J. Trump as president. He left. Dude waited like 2 minutes while I was in the process of starting the YouTube stream. He was just patiently hanging out on the live. Dude was in it for the long haul. Then as soon, right, as we get everything introed, we're good and we're ready to go, he hit the road. Listen, guys, if you're one of the 5,000 people hanging out with us over on TikTok, please go ahead and hop in that queue for me. If you support Trump as president, see, my intention here, my desire here is to fill up the panel with Trump supporters, to seriously do a 1v5, talk about different prompts, so on and so forth. But if we can't even get one Trump supporter up in here, how could we possibly get 5? What's going on, man? Are you MAGA?
Of course.
Oh, of course. Jesus Christ, you're saying that as if it's common sense. It's not at all. Why do you support the worst president of your life, my friend?
I mean, I don't think he's the worst president.
Well, that's what we're here to debate.
If you want to, I remember watching your thing a couple days ago. You were saying how Trump has sent off the most immigrants, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's don't you know that Obama was the one that has the most illegal immigrants sent away?
Okay, so you support Trump because Obama deported undocumented immigrants.
No, I support Trump because I feel he's actually...
let's just stop there real quick. Then you're not answering my question. right? How about this? I will happily, right, answer to your claims about Obama after you tell us why you support Trump as president. But I don't want to like start the stream, right? Start the very first conversation asking the question, how the hell do you still support Trump as president, with a pivot, right? We should not be hearing about Obama, somebody that was president 10 years ago, before we hear about Donald J. Trump on this live stream. Take it away.
Because he's actually helped out our country.
How so? What is like one fact of the country that has gotten better in the last 9 months? Because as far as I'm concerned, everything seems to be going downhill. Inflation is up, unemployment is up, investment in business is down, consumer confidence is down, confidence in one's own economic performance on average is way down, GDP growth is down. First quarter it was negative. What do you think Donald Trump is doing to make this country better? What has he done to do that in the last 9 months?
I want to first off by saying I truly think he's done a lot better than Biden and Harris have done in the last 9 months that Biden and Harris have done in the last 4 years.
Then why is everything worse than
Because
it was
we're
under
trying to-
Biden and Harris?
Because we're trying to regrow as a country.
No, it's not getting better. It's like literally getting worse than it was when he entered into the office, right? Like 1 year ago today, inflation was lower. 1 year ago today, investment in American businesses were soaring per the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. 1 year ago today, the unemployment rate was lower. 1 year ago today, there was more job opportunity. 1 year ago today, the GDP was growing at a faster rate, according to the Federal Reserve. So you can't possibly make the argument that he's just trying to get things back on track from the devastation of the Biden-Harris administration, especially when we consider that things were literally better under the Biden-Harris administration a year ago than they are today.
Can you explain though how they were better? How was Biden better?
I just like gave you the facts of the American economy and how they were better a year ago compared to today, and now you're asking me to explain that again? I thought I just did.
No, you were just answering a question on top of a question. So can you explain how Biden has helped out the last 4 years?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I could happily do that. The same way I could explain the difference between the deportation policy of Obama and Trump. But I'm going to tell you the same thing I said about Obama. You are the first individual that's joined the live today. I don't want to start the stream off by defending Obama or by defending Biden. I want to start the stream off by you responding to the prompt, which is still as how you support Trump. And seemingly, right, you don't have a clear reason why you still support Trump, considering the fact every single time I ask, it's but Obama or but Biden. It's not, well, here's what Donald Trump is doing that's good. Right? So if you could give me one thing that Donald Trump is doing that you think is good, one clear, specific reason why you support him as president, I will happily tell you why I think Biden made a significantly better president than Trump made either in his first term or today.
Well, giving off that his first term, most of it was dealing with COVID and everything, helping out the American people by actually giving us the stimulus checks and stuff like that. I feel like that has helped out a little bit.
So the COVID stimmy checks were bipartisan and were given out under Trump's first administration and under the start of Biden's administration as well. They both had COVID bailout bills. This is not going to be mutually exclusive to Trump. Both him and Biden did it, and both of those packages were bipartisan. This is not a reason why you should support Trump as president, as it's not mutually exclusive to him. Anybody in his shoes at that point would have done the same thing, and the fact that Biden did the same thing when he was in his shoes at a very similar point kind of proves it. Well, it seems like you can't name a reason why Donald Trump is good for the country. Here's one why he's bad. Under the big, beautiful bill, he took health care away from 10 million low-income Americans, food stamps away from 3 million low-income Americans. And as of November 1st, he's actually going to do something that's completely unprecedented, as 42 million low-income Americans are gearing up to lose access to SNAP benefits because of Donald Trump's government shutdown. No response. I'll keep going. Well, he also passed the most expensive bill in American history. Once again, that's a big, beautiful bill, which is going to cost our government $4.5 trillion over the course of the next 10 years. How's that for conservative? Okay, and he left. All right. Sounds good. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next Trump supporter. Go ahead and hop in that queue of your MAGA. We'll happily have you up. And we have 2 donations already that I'd like to thank here very, very quickly while we are focused on getting that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live stream. We got Willie connecting, and while we get Willie connecting, thank you so much, Sydney, for the $10 over on Venmo, who says,
Yo.
What's going on? Thank you for interrupting me. Tay, I appreciate you for that, Galaxy. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Go Drake May, baby.
Okay, is that a yes or no on if you support Trump? I guess we'll never know because he left. Sydney, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says, hey, Dean, I started watching you a couple weeks ago. Now I watch you every day. You are the GOAT. Thank you so much for your kindness, Sydney. Show some love to Sydney down below in that chat for the $10 and the incredibly kind comment, as well as Sammy, that is S-A-N.
Love to Sydney down below in that chat.
What's going on? Sammy, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Sammy says, get the lady a bev on me. Sammy, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for your kindness. Show some love to Sammy down below in that chat for the $20. As well as Angela, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal, who says, not me seeing you live while rewatching yesterday's live. Such a treat seeing you on early. Yeah, I'm usually not on this early. I honestly feel like my brain, it's moving a little bit slower than it does midday, so this is going to be a little bit of a rough stream for me, but we're here and we're ready to go nonetheless. Angela, thank you so much for the $30. Show some love to Sammy, Cindy, and Angela. Thank you guys so much. And then we had one super chat as well. Big T, thank you so much for the $20 over on that YouTube super chat, who says, hey, Dean, love what you do. Thank you so much for your kindness, Big T. Once again, that is Big T, Sammy, and Angela. Show some love to our donors. If you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. And that can be found in the pin message over on that YouTube stream. Alex, what is going on? Do you support Trump?
I support you learning how to play tic-tac-toe.
All right, so I'm going to go to take that as a no on the Trump. Guys, make sure that we're following the rules. I'm going to go to just put them on screen. Only join if and only if you are 18 plus American MAGA and ready to debate. Take a good look at those rules before you hop in the queue. I mean, like, seriously, guys, like, what are we doing? We have 8,000 people in here. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be able to get some debates underway. Welcome in. What is up, Austin? Are you MAGA? Austin, you have 5 seconds before you get kicked. And I'm feeling impatient today. Goodbye. Moving on to Exile, guys. Let me know in that chat of your MAGA as well, because like I said earlier in the stream, I want to get a panel going here. I want to get multiple Trump supporters up here. But how can we get multiple Trump supporters up here if we can't even get one? You know what I mean? So that guy's been only up in that queue if and only if you are, once again, following the rules, which can be found right on your phone screen. Only join if you're 18 plus American MAGA and ready to debate. We got that next guest loading up in here right now. What is going on, Danny Dukes? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
All right. Cordelia, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. Say just a bit of love from me for starting early. Well, thank you so much, Cordelia. That's very kind of you. It's so good to see you today. I hope that you're doing all right. I hope all is well. I know that you've been watching for a while. Show some love to Cordelia down below in that chat for the $20 over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Cordelia. All right, Danny. What's up, Trev? Are you MAGA?
Fuck you.
I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Trev.
Fuck you, Dean.
No,
You piece of shit.
I heard you the first time, Trev. It's okay. I'll take that as yes. Just mute up while I'm looking for the other Trump supporters. We're going to go to get our third Trump supporter up here. Maybe we'll start with a 1v3 here. Everyone just do be patient. I'll only hop in that queue. Welcome in. What is going on? Mia, do you support Trump? Okay, Mia's not here. Listen, I guess we're just going to have to keep it to a 1v2 right now. Oh, shit. Trev, it's just you.
Yeah, fuck you, Dean. Nobody gives a fuck about you, you fat fuck.
Dude, I had like 3 other Trump supporters, and they all left except for you. You're the only one that stayed.
Yeah, because I'm in.
You're the only one that stayed, Trev. Everyone else left but you. Are you sure that like this fuck you attitude isn't like underpinned by something else, Trev?
Yeah, you heard every fucking thing I said. Fuck you.
How many continents are there, Trev?
Fuck you. How about that?
It's not an answer to my question, Trev. Oh, asking him how many continents there are finally is what did it and scared him away. Piss boy over here was scared by something you're supposed to learn in 3rd grade. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. We got David connecting to the stream. Lordy Lord, what a mess. Big T, thank you so much for joining the channel team over on YouTube. I appreciate that. What's going on? Do you support Trump, David?
I do.
Awesome. David, how old are you?
I'm 24.
All right. Just hang out with us for a second here, David, while we're trying to fill that panel. We're trying to get like a 1v3 or 4 going here. Madison, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Age right now, please.
23.
What year were you born in?
April 20th, 2002.
Okay, perfect. You have a little bit of a muffle on that mic, so if you could try to figure that out while we're getting maybe a third Trump supporter up here, that would be great. But like I said, I want to fill the panel today. While we're still filling that panel, thank you so much, Dominic, for the $50 on PayPal, who says, so glad you started earlier today. I watched from the UK while I do my dialysis session. Listen, I understand how hard and long those could be. I had a family member who's doing them. I hope that you're doing all right, Dominic, and I'm happy that, we could give you a good distraction. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the $15. Show some love to Dominic down below. What's up, Jay? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
2004.
2004. Well, you actually can't be 19 born in 04. Good try, though, Jay. You gave it your best shot. Axe, what is up? Do you support Trump?
I love you, Dean.
Dude, well, W fucking Venus. Listen, man, WU, but yeah, you kind of do got to be 18 to be on TikTok Live. We're going to go to get that next guest, Connor, loaded up in right now. Dude, I'm just trying to get like 3 or 4 people that support Trump up in here, and it is just impossible. Like every other person in the queue is like some 18-year-old who just wants to come up here, like say a slur, or like get really mad. Like Trump supporters, if you're watching right now, like this is your party. These are your guys. Yeah, see what I mean? Like holy fucking shit, dude. This is MAGA. This is who supports the president. We're gonna go to move on to the next guest right now. We got Jehovah's Heels loading up into the box. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I do.
And how old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
What month?
June.
What time is it?
What time? 1:32.
What state are you in?
Why you want to know my state?
Because I hear a British accent and I think that you're lying. So what state are you in?
Virginia. I am not British.
Okay. All right. I'll accept it. Name one city in Virginia?
Virginia Beach.
All right. Is it really? You know what? I'll just believe you. Well, welcome in. We got 3 Trump supporters on the line. Before we hop into the debate, I actually want to ask all 3 of you guys a question. I've been trying to fill this panel with Trump supporters for like the last 10 minutes now. We have over 10,000 people tuned into the live concurrently on TikTok. Why do you think it is so hard for me to find Trump supporters that are ready and willing to come up here and have a good faith, honest political discussion with somebody that disagrees with them? Do you think it's because you guys are scared? You guys know that your view is inherently devoid of any reason, fact, or logic to underpin it?
I don't think that it's because I would say that it's because we're scared, because getting up here and debating people is hard work.
Yeah, hard work. Yeah, I know, and Trump supporters aren't used to that. Well, let's go to start with a question. So all 3 of you support Trump. Let's just go ahead and start off with, give me one reason why. What is one policy that Donald Trump has passed, either in his first term or in the last 9 months in his second term, that you guys are a big fan of that solidifies y'all as MAGA?
Actually, so you were having a conversation regarding Eugene Carroll the other day, and you said, quote, if you give a little bit of attention and if you give a woman a little bit of attention and you think that she thinks that you say interesting things, that doesn't mean she's interested in you?
So I think I remember what you're talking about. I have to think really hard here. I had somebody that joined my live, and they said that Eugene Carroll wanted to sleep with Anderson Cooper because Eugene Carroll was giving Anderson Cooper like attention while she was getting interviewed by him, and said that she was interested, right, in what he was saying. And then I responded to that by saying, I'm really reaching back far in my memory now, by just pointing out that just because a woman is interested in maybe a thing that you have to say, that doesn't mean that she wants to sleep with you, which is a fact.
Yeah, and I would just like to say, like, I give you a little bit of attention and I think you say very interesting things, and I am 100% interested.
Okay, Madison, okay, we're going to go to move on to the next guest. David, Jehovah, go ahead and take it away, guys. Name a policy. Absolutely terrible. Go ahead and name a policy that Donald Trump either passed in his first term or in the last 9 months in his second term that you guys are a fan of.
I don't know if it would necessarily be a policy, but I feel that he does a better job at keeping us out of wars than
you understand, this is a really bad time to make the point. Literally yesterday, he said that he wants to go to war with Venezuela, and he's not sure that he need to get a declaration of war through Congress to do it first. He's literally like pro-war. Now he's trying to find ways to circumvent a declaration of war from Congress in order to do it. What a terrible point. I'm sorry, man.
He actually said that he was just going to go kill all those drug dealers sailing across the Caribbean.
Yeah. So do you think that like killing people in the ocean without due process, just dropping bombs on them, and then like hearing that maybe he'll need a declaration of war with Venezuela in order to do it, and now like we're even hearing like voices inside of the Pentagon saying that we might be going to war with Venezuela, then him saying he's not sure if he's going to need a declaration of war in order to do it, or like when he said that we control Iranian airspace, we know where their supreme leader is, we could kill him, but we're not going to do it yet, and then like for literally no reason at all, we drop bombs on their nuclear facilities. And by the way, the only reason why they were in the midst of constructing nuclear weapons is because Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA denuclearization agreement in his first term. And on top of that, his attitudes towards Putin since the beginning of his second term, defunding Ukraine, emboldening Russia to only hit them harder, which has led to the most missiles dropped month by month since the beginning of the conflict a handful of years ago. I don't know, all these attitudes are seemingly like not anti-war in the slightest. I think that they scream like pretty pro-war to me. And it makes sense that, I'll cut it there. Go ahead.
Are you okay with Iran having nuclear weapons?
I think I'm not really okay with like anyone having nuclear weapons. I support global denuclearization. So no.
All right, then we can both agree that Iran should not have nuclear weapons.
Well, I mean, apparently Trump can agree with you on that because he's the one that allowed them and greenlit them to start building nukes by pulling us out of the denuclearization agreement that we had with them during his first term.
That is correct because they broke the denuclearization agreement because...
According to
whom? Explain.
Or like according to whom? Who said that they broke that denuclearization agreement? Because we didn't. Okay.
When I was looking into it.
NATO didn't. In fact, the International Nuclear Watchdog, the IAEA, which had 24/7 access to surveillance over their nuclear sites and 300 in-person visits per year, said they didn't. So who did?
Iran did. They're not visible. You can't just go look up the nuclear facilities. They're not just out in the open for people to see. That would be stupid. They're not that dumb. They are a bad country. They are not stupid.
They were out in the open for us to see, for the EU to see, for the UN to see, and for AIEA to see when we were in that denuclearization agreement with them. And I mean, shit, if you listen to the last thing I said, you would have heard me say that we had access to all of their nuclear facilities with 24/7 surveillance and 300 in-person visits per year when we were in that agreement. But I mean, you said that Iran violated that agreement while we were in it, and I asked you for evidence and you couldn't give me any. So do you want to try again, or do you want to concede the point?
What are you talking? No, Iran started building nuclear weapons. They have facilities that go underground. You cannot see every point of it. Nobody has ever been to the deepest part of their facilities. That is why we dropped bunker busters on their facilities, because our intelligence discovered that they were actually building nuclear weapons from particles.
I think that you're confused. So the question is, right, what is your evidence that while we were in that JCPOA denuclearization agreement with them under Obama's second term and then until 2018, right, what's the evidence that they broke that agreement while we were in that agreement? Because you said they did. I'm just asking you what that evidence is.
So when I was reading into it, because I was like, that's really crazy. I started reading about it and I started looking into it, and I was like, not very old at the time. So I started like reading, figuring out what was happening. And then I also know multiple intelligence officers that were like,
I still haven't heard any evidence.
Okay, so you don't count first-hand sources?
I mean, you didn't give me a first-hand source. You just said that you did research.
Intelligence officers.
Which ones?
Well, I'm not going to give you names of my grandfather. Okay, I'm not going to give you names.
Your grandfather's your source that they broke the JCPOA?
My grandfather, my acquaintances.
Oh my God, dude, come on. This is. Do
you not trust naval intelligence?
This is sad. No, this is super sad.
Do you not trust naval intelligence? Well, Tell me that. Do you not trust naval intelligence?
I don't think I trust your quote unquote mysterious claim about your grandpa.
I brought up my grandpa one time, and now you're focused on it. I'm focused on the point.
So, okay, so you have other like data points, right, to prove that they broke the JCPOA outside of your grandpa. So what's that other evidence that I could access, that we could publicly access? I guess we'll never know because he muted himself. Yo, David, take the hell over. David, I actually got a question for you while that guy's stumbling. Do you think Trump's a threat to the Constitution, David?
No.
Then why did he infringe on the 1st, 2nd, 14th, and 22nd Amendment in the last 8 months, including but not limited to saying that it's now illegal to criticize him in the media, saying that we're quote-unquote taking your free speech away by attempting to ban the burning of the American flag, even though SCOTUS ruled that's constitutionally protected, including his executive order he signed in on day one.
Yo, was I muted?
Yeah.
What happened? Does it mute you when you tab out?
Oh, it does. But let me finish asking David this question while you look for that evidence. So once again, including but not limited to his executive order that he signed in on day one, where he tried to take birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil, even though that right's been guaranteed to them since 1865. Oh, and his attacks on the 22nd Amendment, where he's like, I want to run for the third term, Trump 2028, even though the 22nd Amendment expressly limits anyone from serving over 2 terms as president.
When did he say he wanted to? I'm sorry. Is it okay if we kind of go one by one? Is it okay?
Yeah.
When did he say he wanted to run for a 3rd term?
Yeah, at a sit-down interview with NBC News about 2.5 months ago. He was like, there's ways I could run for a 3rd term. I kind of want to do it. And then he even started detailing those ways. He was like, well, I could have J.D. Vance run as the president of the ticket. And then when we get elected, as I will be as vice president, we could do a switchy.
I never heard this interview, but it made all
that doesn't mean he's going to do it. That's just him explaining how it could happen. That's not him saying I'm going to do it.
And selling the Trump 2028 merch.
It's called being a troll. A lot of conservatives are trolls.
Just being a troll. Just selling the Trump 2028 merch, saying there's
absolutely it gets money. Man.
Do you know who Steve Bannon is?
Do you know how much money he's made from that?
Do you know
off of trolling?
Do you know who Steve Bannon is?
I do not.
No, so Steve Bannon was, I believe, his chief of staff under his first administration, and is still very closely aligned with MAGA and helped really lay the groundwork for MAGA. He did an interview with The Economist yesterday and said that Trump will be president in 2028.
Yeah, no, that definitely is not happening.
Oh yeah,
it's called trolling, my guy.
Yes, I know. It's just trolling. Oh yeah, when Obama wore a tan suit, right? Fox News called.
Then tell me.
But when Donald Trump says he wants to run for a 3rd term, when Donald Trump's held civilly liable for rape at a woman, when Donald Trump's convicted of 34 felonies, when Donald Trump passes the most expensive policy in history, falsification of business records in the first felony. It's a classy felony in the state of New York.
And nobody else has been charged with that? That's not a felony.
Yeah, it is. It is a felony.
Explain what he did wrong.
Sure. So he falsified business documents in furtherance of concealing another crime. That is the adjudication of 12
what crime?
Inside of a criminal court in New York.
What crime?
What was that second crime that he tried to conceal? Is that what you're asking? Yes. I think that they adjudicated it as election interference because he was trying to conceal the fact that he had slept with Stormy Daniels, so he gave her hush money.
So there's no proof.
2016 election.
So here's what's happening: is you're saying that you're saying that it's a crime for him to cover up another crime, but if he doesn't have a crime to cover up, then the second crime isn't actually a crime.
I have no clue what you're saying, but I think I heard there that you think there's no proof. So he was convicted of this 34 times by a jury.
And there's still no proof. There's no evidence.
Why are you saying that?
Because he didn't rape a woman. He didn't cover up another crime because there's no crime to cover up. Therefore...
You're so lost. You're so dazed and confused. So the grape case was a civil case. So I'm talking about the hush money case, which was a criminal case. You're now confusing the litigation against it.
Yeah, the hush money. That's not a crime.
What was the crime? Was the way that he paid her the hush money, which included the falsification of business records, right? So like what he did was he gave her money and then like wrote the checks that he sent to Stormy Daniels as like deposits out of his estate for business purposes, when in all reality it was just to give her money for hush money. That was the crime. It was falsification of business records and the first degree. I've already told you that 3 times.
You're allowed to give money to people. I don't understand what this whole thing is.
Dude, how old did you say you were?
I'm 18. Why?
Are you I feel like you're lying about that. Just be honest. Are you a minor?
No, I'm not a minor.
Dude, okay. Oh my God. All right. Well, then
How old are you?
I'm 21. I'm going to try to find a way to explain this, okay? You are allowed to give money to people, but when you're running a business, okay, you can't take money out of your business, classify it as like a check to a lawyer to pay for their services as a business expense, and then take that money and give it to a porn star that you slept with. That is illegal. That's falsification of business records.
And there's evidence?
Yes, enough evidence to convict Donald Trump of 34 counts via a unanimous jury of 12.
Okay, so let me get this straight. He got judged in a blue state for something that didn't technically actually show that it happened. And he goes to jail for a very small amount of time. They realize, oh, this didn't actually happen, and now he's not actually in jail. So I don't.
No, everything that
in a blue state, by the way, in a blue state.
So everything that you just said there was made up, right? Outside of him being like charged and convicted in a blue state, everything else was made up.
But so he got charged in a blue state, did he not?
Yes, that one was the one true thing you said. Everything else was
Don't you think that he would have gone to jail in a blue state for that kind of thing?
Don't I think he would have been convicted at the blue state? Well, I mean, I don't really think if it's a blue state or a red state. I don't think that matters.
Oh, it 100% does.
How much?
It's been proven.
So what percentage of the jury has to agree he's guilty?
Over 50%.
Dude, you have no fuck. No, it's 100%. Okay, it's a unanimous ruling. All 12 jurors have to agree that he's guilty. Is 100% of New York blue?
100% of no state's ever gonna have 100% blue.
Right, but exactly. Right. So therefore, no one jury is going to have 100% of individuals that are on it that blue. Yet 100%.
There's a percentage of a state that is dictated by the color. Okay, so the color, obviously, it's a color, right? The state's blue.
Oh my God.
Their legal system is going to naturally be blue.
So when a state's blue, when like New York is blue, that means that a majority of the people in the state are blue. Okay, and for that reason, I'm just fine with assuming, even though like there's technically an issue with this assumption, right? Because of the jury selection process, I'll still assume it just to keep things simple. I'm therefore fine to assume that because the state was blue, so was the jury, which would mean that the jury was majority blue. Okay, but what's the majority of 12? Okay, the majority of 12 would be like 7, right? That's going to be over 50% of the jury, all right? That's going to be 7 out of 12. But the thing is, okay, right, in order for him to be found guilty, which he was, it didn't require 7 jurors agreeing that he was guilty. It required all 12 agreeing to his guilt, which meant, all right, even if we assume that a majority of the jury was blue, yet you still had like 4 or 5 people that weren't blue, right, that were red, independent, supported Trump on the right, that agreed he was guilty of committing the crimes.
Then why aren't we talking about
pivot time? What's the pivot?
Why aren't we talking about why Hillary Clinton isn't in jail?
Oh, how did I call it? It's because there's no evidence she was guilty, my friend.
Well, then there's no evidence that Trump was guilty. They have equal evidence.
What's making you think that? Where's that silly claim coming from?
Oh boy.
Where's that silly claim coming from? If Hillary Clinton's not guilty, then Trump's not guilty.
So you're saying that Hillary Clinton isn't guilty?
Yes, I am saying that. She was deposed by Donald Trump's DOJ under his first administration for 16 hours to investigate her to find any evidence of any wrongdoing. And
Hillary Clinton is definitely just not guilty at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Donald Trump's own DOJ found. That's what Donald Trump's own DOJ did not find enough evidence to even pursue charges. Listen, dude, once again, are you seriously 18 years old?
Do you know how many times she's been to court and how many times a witness against her has been murdered? Suddenly the night before court.
So she's been to court less than Trump. So I just want to clarify. Are you seriously like 18? I want you to be honest now. If you're not 18, just be honest, right? Because I feel like I'm like bullying you at this point.
Yes, I'm 18. I don't know why. I have autism. I have OCD. I have ADHD. I don't talk properly, and I had tongue tie until I was 9 years old, so I don't know why. What the point?
Listen, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that to do to like the way that you're talking or anything. No, whatsoever. I just like want to like be clear, right, about your age. And the only reason why I want to be clear about your age is because like in like having this conversation with you and then going back and forth, I just feel like you're like making like really bad arguments, like really bad ones.
Well, so here's how I see it. Okay. Under Biden, I didn't feel safe in the country. And now that Trump's president, I feel safe in the country. So
what changed?
Naturally, What changed? Everything changed.
Name
Go
one
look at
thing.
gas prices for starter.
Oh, wait, so
gas prices for starter.
Okay.
Gas prices changed. We have less violence. The percentage of violence has actually gone down. We have a lot less illegal immigrants, which is good, whether people want to believe it or not. We have less illegal immigrants. They're being deported, so that's good. We have less drug operations that are coming into the country and killing people. We actually have. We've come so close to ending multiple wars. We've prevented several wars. And anyone wants to talk about is Venezuela. Venezuela is not a threat, okay? This is not a big deal. It's Venezuela, okay? If it was China, that would be something. But China would not dare go to war with Trump. You want to know why? Because of the amount of money that we owe them. If they go to war with us, they lose all of that money. They would never go to war with us. Russia's losing everything on Ukraine. It stands no chance against the United States. We're never going to nobody's going to war against Trump. Nobody. I feel safe in a country knowing that Trump is a badass and sometimes a huge troll that other nations are going to go, shit, I don't want to go to war with this guy. And then they're not going to go to war with him.
Okay. And who went to war with us when Biden was president?
Do you know we were on the verge of war with China?
Who went to war with us when Obama was president?
Do you know we were on the verge?
Okay.
We've been on the verge of war with China.
Here, I'll go and respond to all of your points. So you said that the price of gas went down. Well, guess what? Donald Trump hasn't caused the price of gas to go down. If you disagree. Okay, how?
Tariffs.
You think that his tariffs would cause the price of gas to go down?
They absolutely did. He's an economist. You cannot argue that point.
Wait, actually, I can argue that point. So point number one, if you think that the tariffs would cause the price of gas to go down, one of those just like limit the amount of oil that we're importing from other countries, therefore making the total supply of oil in this country significantly lower. And if we have a consistent demand with a lower level of supply, that would actually drive the equilibrium price of oil up. Not to mention that in the oil that we would still yet import, would it cost more money to the end consumer because there's like a higher price of transportation of said oil into America, considering that tariff tax?
But when we get the oil, they have to. When we get trade, they have to pay us more. The United States gains more from that because we've been giving too much to other nations. That now we have tariffs, so people have to start paying us back for what we've been giving them. So now, not only are we getting more money, Trump is an extremely brilliant economist. Okay,
Sir,
so there's no argument.
You're pivoting. Yeah, I don't know why you're doing this. I want you to stay like on topic. Okay, you said that the tariffs are causing the price of gas to be lower in America. I then responded to that by just pointing out, right, some common sense issues with your position. Okay? Obviously, when we're tariffing oil that's coming into this country, we're going to bring less oil into this country, right?
No, not necessarily.
So if tariffs don't drive imports down, what's the point?
They don't drive imports down because we get more money.
American industries.
So let's say you've got 100 gallons of oil that comes in and they're worth $5.
I have a question. If tariffs don't reduce imports, then how do they protect American industries?
Because they give us more money.
They give who more money?
The government.
And then what does the government do with that money to protect American industries?
They take money, they reduce taxes, nonprofit organizations charge less.
They reduce taxes because we're taking more money from the tariffs.
Look, what tariff is when you import something.
Listen. There's about 1 billion issues with that. I just want to stick on the original topic. Okay, you said that these tariffs are like driving down the price of oil in this country. So how are Donald Trump's tariffs making gas more affordable? All right, because matter of fact, since Liberation Day, 4/2, we have seen the rate of inflation increase every single month until now. Right, the rate of inflation in America as of today, per the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is the highest it has been since January of this year. Okay. We do not see a correlation between the imposition of tariffs and a reduction in the rate of inflation. In fact, we see the opposite. In fact, that's what economists would project as well, since that tariff is inevitably passed off to the end consumer. Okay, but you're saying that Donald Trump's tariffs are making gas more affordable in this country. Go ahead and tell me how.
Because what a tariff is taking money. Are you cold?
Very, very cold.
Very cold. What the tariff is it takes more money from nations who have been getting free things from us, which then allows companies like Amazon and all of these other companies to profit off of that, which now means that they don't have to charge as much. And because the biggest the top hierarchy of economics.
Dude, you're just saying fucking words. It's kind of embarrassing.
No, I'm not. The top.
Listen, I don't like trying to have a debate about economics with somebody that doesn't understand economics.
I understand enough to argue the point.
Unfortunately, you don't. Okay, well, all that you just said was that tariffs make our government money, which in turn makes it so Amazon could reduce their prices. What? That's just another claim. You'd have to give an argument for that too, right? I had an argument that when we impose tariffs, it reduces the price of gas.
Who's this Willy boy?
What?
Okay, then tell me why we haven't. Why is it that we have had to pay less and we've gotten more money after so many tariffs have been enacted?
Well, you were wrong when you said that we have to pay less. Inflation has only increased under the Trump administration. It's the highest it's been since January. Every single month following the imposition of his tariffs on Liberation Day, inflation's gone up.
It hasn't. We pay less for everything.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it has. You're wrong.
I know. I just went to the grocery store yesterday and I bought a cart full of things for under $40. And Biden's economy, that would have been over $80.
Literally, if you go to Google, you type in Bureau of Labor Statistics grocery prices on average, you will see that Donald Trump's own BLS, which he got a new head for like not even 3 months ago, is still yet reporting that the price of groceries on average in this country are higher today than they were in January.
Yeah, user, $40 is crazy.
How about
it is not so expensive now.
Can you provide me with a source to demonstrate that on average grocery prices nationwide have gone down?
Go to a store.
Sorry, sir, that's not a source.
That is a first-hand source.
Listen, earlier when I was asking you if you're underage, I think the reason why is because you have the brain of a 15-year-old. All right, this is just insane. Okay, right? When I'm asking you to demonstrate that this claim that you're making is true, okay, when I'm asking for evidence, the answer isn't go to a store. The answer would be like point me towards a conglomerate database in which tracks the prices of these different goods sold in the grocery store nationwide, and then would come up with an average rate of change for the price of that good over like any given time span. Okay, one institution that does that is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, ran by Donald Trump's own appointments that he made less than 2 months ago. Right, and they're still yet reporting the price of groceries in this country have gone up. You're anti-intellectualists and very embarrassing to MAGA.
You guys are thinking about it too much.
Exactly. This is where we go. And the conclusion is, well, if you think Trump's a bad president, if you think America's heading in the wrong direction, then you're thinking too much.
Why don't you do something about it?
I am doing something about it right now.
You're a politician?
I'm hosting conversations with Trump supporters to prove that the MAGA worldview is nothing but baseless, idiotic claims of rampant anti-intellectualism and misinformation, while not even an hour into my stream, we already have 15,000 people watching live. I am doing something about it.
This is not doing anything.
Okay, you keep on telling yourself that. Go, buddy.
Okay,
Scarlett, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you for that love, Scarlett. That is incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Scarlett down below in that comment section. Thank you so much. Scarlett with a $50 says, "Hey Dean, I'm back. I recently watched a video about how right-wing violence dominates the playing field made by the quote-unquote doubler take, and it turns out the Trump administration is actually suppressing right-wing violence reports." Yes, they literally remove them from government websites. You are right, Scarlett. But thank you so much for the $50. Show some love to Scarlett, as well as Zach with the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat as well. Let's get some W Scarletts and some W Zach. Zach says, "Dean, have you honestly considered the butt Biden though?" Dude, honestly, Zach, best argument ever. As well as Ebot. I think that this is around $50 too. Thank you, Ebot. That is EBATT. A bot with a $50 says, "You and Parker are doing a great job teaching people how things work and the facts." Well, thank you so much for the love, Ebot, Scarlett, and Zach. All three of you, seriously, you're so fucking kind. $50 is a shit ton of money. Thank you so much for the love directed to the stream. Yo, real quick, Jehovah's, do you think I could get a W, Ebot, Scarlett, and Zach from you?
Who am I Wing?
Ebot, Scarlett, and Zach. They all sent $50.
Bot, Scarlett.
Very nice, as well as Tess. Thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. And Beacon, this was 27 minutes ago, but I still want to thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. And I just read your read your comment there. I'm really happy that the live streams keep you company and keep you happy. Thank you so much for the love. And then Jonathan, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. And Brendan, Rocky, thank you so much for the $34 over on PayPal. Thank you, Rocky. Let's get 350 Rocky W's down below. Rocky says, thank you. Hey Dean, thank you from Canada. As a trans girly, all that you do is greatly appreciated. I adore watching your lives and have been for over a year, and I'll never tire of it. Rocky, thank you so much for your kindness. Seriously, I really appreciate you for tuning in. I'm really happy that you enjoy the live streams. Show some love to Rocky down below, guys. Seriously, show some love to Rocky. As well as Lars, thank you so much for the $35 on PayPal. Lars with the 35 bucks. Let's get 350. Lars W says, what you are doing is working. I'm now able to confidently debate my peers, and most of us are voting blue November. Let's fucking go, Lars. Lars, you've also been watching for a while. I recognize your name. You've sent a handful of donations over the last couple months. So you've been watching for a long time. I bet you could confidently debate your peers now. Let's fucking go, Lars. You are awesome. Thank you for the $35. And then a big one, actually two big ones here. Holy shit. Ashley and Mandy, thank you both for the $50 donations over on Venmo. Holy fuck, you guys. Dude, we're not even an hour into the stream, and y'all are already showing, like, literally, like, so much fucking love. Show some love to Mandy.
Yo, who's Sex Slave,
Ashley.
bro? Who names themselves Sex Slave? What the heck? That's weird.
This guy. Thank you so much, Mandy and Ashley, for the $50. Mandy with the $50 says, as always, thank you for utilizing your platform to educate people with your intelligence, patience, and kindness and knowledge. It is more important now than ever to have these types of platforms out there combating all the misinformation from the radical right. You know, I gotta say, like, Mandy, that is why I do what I do. It's just like we see so much rampant misinformation espoused by people on the right, including Trump himself. That the purpose of my platform is to try to just inform the masses of what's true and what's false. Because there's just so many things out there that are propping up the Trump administration and allowing them to continue their tyranny. That's just blatant misinformation. I appreciate you for the $50, Mandy. Show some love to Mandy. And then Ashley with the $50 says, I can't get that awful mom/daughter duo out of my head from the other night. I'm terrified of men, and as a survivor, I just wanted to say thank you for standing up for us and showing us what true masculinity looks like. Sending love and support from Texas. All the love and support back to you, Ashley. Yeah, I remember that mom-daughter duo. They were absolutely fucking terrible. Thank you so much for the $50, Ashley. And I'm sorry that you had to hear that. As well as Preston, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. What's going on? Do you support Trump? Hello? Are you MAGA? Okay, they're not here. We're going to go to kick them and get that next guest up, guys. Only join the stream if you support Trump as president. Only join the stream if you support Trump as president. Please, 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 please. What is going on? Are you MAGA?
Yes, I'm MAGA.
How old are you?
I am 25.
Yeah, what year were you born in?
2000.
Yeah, what was a popular song in like 2015 through 2018?
I don't know, Maroon 5, Sugar.
Okay, sure. Why do you support Trump as president?
My take is probably because I'm from Miami and there's just a lot of undocumented immigrants and stuff like that. And, you know, I just want to talk about like Lake and Riley, Shanti, and, you know, people like that. The argument is, you know, people are upset because they have families here, you know, and there's like a lot of arguments about, you know, people building a life here, but I feel like a lot of people just have children here so that they can claim, you know, American citizenship. Like, I don't think there's any point.
You can't just automatically become a citizen if you have a child here. Oh, and then you said that you wanted to talk about Laken Riley. Jesus Christ, Laken Riley. Sure, let's go ahead and talk about Laken Riley. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how there's so many undocumented immigrants here, and there's nothing that we can do about the crime that they commit. So I am, you know, happy as an American that, you know, Trump is doing something about that. I don't support everything that Trump does, but I do support the fact that there are a lot of undocumented.
Sure, like for the undocumented immigrants, right? Because they're just so violent. The undocumented immigrants that like have
I don't think that they're violent because
like if an undocumented immigrant
support.
If an undocumented immigrant rapes a woman on American soil, what do you think should happen to them?
I think that they should get the same sentence as everyone else.
but they don't. They don't really get.
They should
fully
get the same
prosecuted for
sentence
the
as
crime.
everybody else, so we should give them the Oval Office because that was the sentence that you gave Trump for raping E. Jean Carroll.
Laken Riley is dead. I'm pretty sure that person is alive.
Oh, yeah.
He literally bashed her head in with a rock.
Okay,
Like, let's be for
so
real.
if an undocumented immigrant, right, murders a woman, then we need to treat all undocumented immigrants, right, as Satan 2.0. But if a natural U.S.-born citizen rapes a woman, then we need to make him president. No matter of fact, undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil when compared to American citizens. Undocumented immigrants account for 2% of all the violent crimes committed in this country. You know who counts for 90? American men. Men including people like Trump. But you will never talk about that because you don't care. And Laken Riley only goes as far as a talking point in your mind. Because if you actually cared about that harm, if you actually cared about that violence as directed towards women, then you would have never made an adjudicated rapist that has openly boasted about perving on the naked bodies of underage girls and the naked bodies of women unconsensually backstage before their beauty pageants. Same guy that was best friends with Epstein, sending him letters depicting the body of a naked woman in the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret," as president. Okay? And matter of fact, you know, what the GOP has done with Laken Riley is absolutely sickening because they passed the Laken Riley bill, which now allows for an undocumented immigrant to be deported from this country on the basis of an accusation of a violent crime. And that is heinous. They should have due process in this country first. They should be found guilty of that heinous crime first. Why? Because if we deport them and they're actually guilty of that crime, because they face no criminal conviction in this country, then they are going to go free on the streets of wherever they are deported to recommit. So in fact, the GOP has used Laken Riley's name to ensure that there will only be more women and girls like her on the streets of other countries around the world.
Interesting. Well, I don't agree because I feel like when I mentioned Laken Riley, it reminded me of myself in the community that I live in because I live around lots of undocumented immigrants and I'm witnessing the crime around me. I don't have to go and look at, statistics and have my facts when I'm literally living in the society with these people.
Quote unquote, I don't need to have my facts. Thank you so much for telling us that you're a Trump supporter.
What? I'm so confused.
You heard me. Thank you so much for reaffirming that you're MAGA. Thank you for telling us that you're on the right, that you support Trump as president. Quote unquote, I don't need to have facts. All right, we already knew that.
No, you stated that you're citing facts and where these people are getting the facts from or news. I said I got my facts from living in the society with these people.
Yeah, your perceptions, like what you see, right, is A, right, shielded by your own bias. B, driven by
I don't have a bias because, like I said, I don't agree completely with what Trump does.
So then, go ahead and tell me, right, the experiences that you've seen that prove to you undocumented immigrants are not 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes. What have you seen that proves that?
I've seen the whole state or the whole city of Miami commit countless crimes, and then they just go back to their countries like nothing's really done.
Wait, so
and then they
when
get
you
smuggled back
see somebody in America committing a crime, how do you know that person is an undocumented immigrant? Oh, this is where that bigoted bias comes in. You're like, oh, their skin's brown and they're not speaking English, therefore they're an undocumented immigrant, right?
No, a lot of undocumented immigrants actually speak English.
Okay.
I'm not a racist.
So when you see somebody committing a crime, you're like, oh, that's an undocumented immigrant. How do you know that they're an undocumented immigrant?
Usually you find out that they're a documented immigrant because when they're processed or they're prosecuted, then you find out that they never even had citizenship in the country.
Wait, so you're like you're identifying random people on the streets that you're like personally seen committing violent crimes. You somehow like come to gain the knowledge of their name.
No, I've actually gone to school
and then you go back
people.
And then you go back. Right.
No, I've actually gone to school with these people.
And then you go back to like the court's website of like wherever you live. You look their name up, you find their court documents, and then you read into the court documents and you figure out that like they're not a citizen. So do you just see how like what you're saying here is like so insane and unrealistic? First and foremost, you said that you see the whole city. There's no way that you see the whole like totality of Miami. Second of all, you said that you see undocumented immigrants commit crimes. Well, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're an undocumented immigrant. And then your justification for how you apparently are able to tell them is, well, you look at the court documents. Well, how would you even know where to start in the court documents? How would you know to look for their case, considering the fact there was just some random person on the street that you saw commit a crime?
I mean, just like anybody else watches the news when crimes happen, I watch the news when crimes happen.
Now you're going back to the news. Now you're just going back to the TV, right? Earlier you told me that I was getting my facts from the TV and we shouldn't use those. We should use your personal experiences. By the way, I don't even get my facts from the TV. I get them from PNAS, a reputable a reputable research institute that has been tracking crime rates amongst undocumented immigrants and native-born American citizens since the 19th century. And of course, when you turn on Fox News, all right, they're going to give you instances of undocumented immigrants committing violent crimes, okay? Because the fact of the matter is, there is a non-zero amount of violent crimes that undocumented immigrants commit. And when you ignore all citizens that commit crimes and you only isolate for those committed by undocumented immigrants, well, then you could generate and manufacture any trend that you want. It's fear-mongering. It's just total fear-mongering. That's what you're buying into. You are choosing to side with the anti-intellectualists. You are choosing to side with the bigoted racists. And you're choosing to delve like knee-deep into the fear-mongering bullshit compared to being in alignment with the facts, studying, doing your research, and agreeing with the statistics. That statistical fact being that undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil than citizens.
I believe that maybe that's a fact, but when I'm saying that I watch the news, I'm not just watching Fox. It comes in news articles, it comes in all types of forms, and basically what I'm saying is that just like anyone else commits a crime, they commit crimes. But the difference is that they might not get fully prosecuted, and that's the truth. Like, everyone knows that they're not going to get the same sentence as someone who's American.
They're not going to get the same sentence as somebody that's American. Why?
Because they're undocumented. Usually they get sent back to their countries.
You're saying that they'll be deported instead. So do you think that's an issue? Do you think that they should be like locked up in jail?
Yeah, why wouldn't they be locked up in jail?
So
like, what do you mean?
Wait, so then
why do people get to get deported instead of prosecuted for their crimes?
The Trump administration is the one that passed policy that is explicitly deporting undocumented immigrants on the basis of an arrest for a violent crime, compared to adjudicating them and throwing them in jail if they're guilty. That's what the Lake and Riley Act is. You just told us that Donald Trump's Lake and Riley Act is terrible. So in other words, you're telling us that you support Trump because you think his policy is shit. While you're thinking about that one, let me thank you, a couple people here. Zach, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat on YouTube. I appreciate you for that love. Zach with the $20 says, because anything is possible when you lie. I appreciate you for that love, dude. Let's get 200 Zach W's as well as 200 Singularity W's, who donates $20 over on Super Chat to say you're doing great work. MAGA's uneducated, following a leader who doesn't care about them. As somebody whose mind you have changed, you are what we need in government. Singularity, thank you so much for the $20, and I'm really happy to hear that I've been able to change your mind. And yeah, no, you're right. People think that Trump cares about them when he obviously doesn't. You know, thinking that Trump cares about you is like thinking that the stripper that's giving you attention in the club cares about you, right? I'd also like to very quickly thank Jocelyn. Thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, as well as I read your message there. I'm really happy that I've given you the courage to be outspoken. Show some love to Jocelyn, that is Jaclyn, as well as Amy and Albert and Elise, all three of you, Amy, Albert, and Elise. Thank you guys so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Show some love to Amy, Albert, and Elise down below in that chat for the $20 over on PayPal. Real quick, Amy says, I'm an old Gen Xer and listening to you gives me hope for the future. That's awesome, Amy. Albert says, my mother, who's a citizen, was sent death threats just because she does not speak English. Yes, my grandma's best friend, who also her first language is Spanish, has also been told to get the fuck back to her country. That is what the rhetoric of Trump causes, okay? When you're like saying that undocumented immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, right? Eating like your pets and committing violent crimes, they're gang members, okay? What that culminates into is your mother getting death threats and my grandma's best friend being told to go back to her country. Absolutely. It's fucking insane. Thank you for the $20, Albert, and I'm really sorry to hear that about your mother. As well as Elise, thank you for the $20 as well. I know that I already thanked you, but I do want to thank you again. Show some love once again to Elise, Albert, and Amy. And Anthony, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal as well. Anthony says, I like the way that you make intellectual discourse more fun, engaging, and respectful. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anthony. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to our four donors. I'm going to go and pass the mic back to the guests. There's a handful of other donors that I'd like to thank as well, but before we get back to that, let's go ahead and hear what their response is. But thank you for so much. Show some love to them down below. I seriously really do appreciate your guys' kindness. Thank you.
I want to say that I completely support everything that Trump has done, but I don't understand why that people are not getting prosecuted here and they're just getting deported.
I just told you because of the Lincoln Riley Act.
But that wasn't a thing even before. It was the same policy that people get deported, even before Trump became president. No?
The Lincoln Riley Act just gave them the explicit go-ahead to do it, right? But I mean, we could agree that it's somewhat of a little bit of a bipartisan issue, right? That maybe we're deporting individuals to roam free in the streets of other countries if they have committed violent crimes in this one.
But honestly,
I don't think I don't know if we saw that or not. I haven't done the research, so I wouldn't be able to tell you specifically. Right, but I guess my thing is, right, if you're so hell bent on locking people up for violent crimes, then how come you voted for a violent criminal to be president?
I didn't vote. That's the thing. I said I support MAGA, and that I did vote.
Okay, well then I'll just simply revise my statement. If you're so hell bent on people being locked up for violent crimes,
I'm not
then how come you support a violent criminal as president?
You don't understand.
Wait, you're not hell bent on people being locked up for violent crimes?
Why would I be hell bent on that? That's not my issue in life.
Dude, okay, 60 seconds ago, it was we need to throw the violent criminals in jail. Now that I just bring up the fact that Donald Trump was adjudicated to have raped a woman, all of a sudden it's I don't know, it's not really my thing. I'm not hell bent. Okay, which one is it? Do you care when men rape women, or do you not care when men rape women? When men rape women, do you think that they should be thrown in jail, or do you think they should be made president? I feel like we just need to be able to get it clear here.
Okay, you're speaking about Donald Trump being a rapist.
That is true. That is true because you were speaking about violent crime and how undocumented immigrants should be locked up for it, but apparently not Trump.
Yes, I was speaking about Lincoln Riley in specific. He didn't get to rape her. He just bashed her head in for no reason.
So if a man murders a woman, lock him up. If a man rapes a woman, make him president.
I didn't vote for that, so that has nothing to do with me.
You're actively supporting him. That's literally why you're on the live. This does have something to do with you.
Why would I want to walk around?
Don't try to wash your hands now. Wait, I'm so sorry. Don't try to wash your hands now that I've gotten you in a corner here. Okay? Don't try to pull that card. Okay?
Who has who in the corner? You don't have me in the corner.
Okay, well then why are you now trying to redact all your support from Trump and washing your hands saying, oh, don't put the pin that on me? Ma'am, you are the one that came up here as a pro-Trump MAGA supporting American, right? You are the one that said, right, well, these violent crimes are atrocious. Undocumented immigrants should be locked up for it. Then I'm the one that said, Donald Trump's a violent criminal. You're like, MAGA, you support him as president. And then you're like, I didn't vote for him. Don't pin this on me. You are actively supporting him. How can you actively support, right, a rapist as president in one breath while then actively condemning, right, a murderer and saying that they should be sentenced to prison for the rest of their life in another breath? How about we maintain consistency here? We say if you murder a woman, you go to jail. If you grape a woman, you go to jail. Not if you murder a woman, you go to jail. And if you grape a woman, here's the Oval Office.
Well, I think I understand that, but I still stand with saying that I don't think that it's fair that people get to come here and just commit crimes. And my whole thing is that even if they do...
So do you think that Donald Trump should go to jail? Yes or no?
Did he not go to jail?
No, he didn't go to jail for raping E. Jean Carroll because it was a civil suit.
Oh, wow.
So do you think... So do you think that Donald Trump should be in prison for the rape of E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah, he probably should.
Okay, so you think that he should be president from prison?
How is he going to be president from prison? That doesn't even make sense.
So that doesn't make sense. So you don't think he should be president from prison, and because you think he should be in prison, therefore you don't think he should be president.
I agree.
Okay. Then you're not MAGA.
I guess you're right.
Anything else?
Nope.
Have a good rest of your day. We're going to go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live, guys. Go ahead and hop in that queue if and only if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. I think that we're going to go ahead and try to fill the panel here. Let's try to get multiple people up here. Let's try to get multiple people up here, guys. Let's try to get a little bit of a panel debate going. What is going on? What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Of course I do.
Okay, your bio says trucker, patriot, truth teller. So you
let me ask you something. Hold on. Let me ask you something. Why so much anger?
I don't think I've been. I think you're confusing, right, like assertiveness and passion for anger. I don't think I've been angry so far today.
Yeah, you do. You do. But let me tell you something. Where did you get that Trump was a rapist?
Yeah, from the adjudication of a.
So he's a rapist because. But you're saying he's a rapist because you're saying so.
No, because the court said so. Let me
You do
correct
know
you.
Bill Clinton. You know Bill Clinton was accused like 7, 8 times, and I don't see you here saying that he's a rapist.
So there's a difference between.
He was accused.
There's a difference between you and me. If Bill Clinton's a rapist, lock him
I
up.
did not have
can
sex
you say
with that woman. You remember that part?
Can you say the same thing about Donald Trump?
Of what?
I just said if Bill Clinton's a rapist, lock him up. And honestly, right, we have some reason that Bill Clinton's kind of guilty. All right, you know, like we had an Epstein victim speak out in front of the Capitol, and she said that she was taken to Africa with Epstein and Clinton. All right, I think that's absolutely like disgusting. I think that is so gross, right? And this is one of the big differences between the left and the right. Okay, we have an ability, right, to turn around, look at Bill Clinton, and say, "You're fucking gross. You deserve to be in jail." Right? If these things are true, you deserve to be in jail. Right? Do you have the same ability to say that to Trump?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Most of the stuff that happened to him, I don't think they were right. He was over persecuted. You know that. Everybody knows it. But you guys can't admit to that.
You don't have the same ability to say it about Trump. So why the hell did you even try to bring up Bill Clinton, right? If like as a point of hypocrisy. But
This
then
is the
when I
reason.
demonstrate to you that there is no hypocrisy present, because if Bill is guilty, fucking lock him up. Okay, and the moment I ask you to say the same thing about Trump, you can't do it. That's embarrassing. You're spineless. Go ahead and unmute. But the facts matter, and the fact is you're spineless. I sent you an invite.
Hey, Dean.
Go ahead.
Hey, Dean. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, another thing. Real quick. Before you do, let me thank a couple people. Mary, thank you so much for the $10 on Super Chat, who says, Dean, you made me laugh out loud with the stripper analogy. I'm definitely reusing that one. I appreciate you for the $10, Mary. Show some love to Mary, and show some love to Tara, Tarra, with the $20 on Super Chat, who says, you give me hope for the futures of my daughters. Thank you. Keep up the good work, kid. Well, thank you so much for your kindness, Tara. I really appreciate you for your support. Thank you for the kind message and the $20. You are absolutely phenomenal. And then Sid, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, who says, hope you're doing well. Sid, thank you for the $25. It's been so long. I hope that you're well. I loved running into you down in Texas. I think about that often, and I hope that all is well, Sid. Thank you for the $25. As well as Courtney, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, and Peyton with the 10 as well. Thank you so much, Courtney and Peyton. I read both of y'all's messages. Thank you so much. And then Michaela, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Ooh, Michaela with the $25 says, I'm MAGA, and I would love to debate you. I have a lot of respect for you and your views. Michaela, what is your name on TikTok? I'll bring you up next. Let me know. Let me know, Michaela. And then Lowen, that is Lowan. Thank you so much for the $20 as well on Venmo, who says, thank you for all that you do, Dean. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kindness, Lowen. As well as, the hiring freezes onset by the shutdown are really hurting so many people. I'm sorry to hear if that's personally impacted you, but thank you so much for the $20. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Lowen. And then Shauna, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Shauna, I just read your message. You should try to get your sister up on the live. And then Miguel, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal saying WStream. Thank you, Miguel. Mario, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal saying, I'm a Republican, but MAGA are brainless and idiotic. Dude, classical Republican right there. Thank you for the $20, Mario. And then Elise with the 5. I appreciate everyone so much for the love. We are all cut up. Show some love to all of the donors down below. Thank you guys so much for your kindness. Thank you. Seriously, show some love to all of our donors. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you for supporting the stream. As well as Lacey, thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat. And go ahead and take it away, Chef. I appreciate you for waiting patiently.
Hey, Dean, 2 things. The first thing, I do think Charlie Clerk was running away from you. Yeah, he did. The second thing, why can't we let Trump govern?
What?
The first term.
Why can't we let him
first
govern?
term? Yeah, the first term we didn't. The second term is going the same way. And another thing, we're always judging President Trump, right? But only history could judge him. And that's proven with Bill Clinton. That was the main reason why I brought Bill Clinton, because everybody was saying Bill Clinton was the best president ever. Bill Clinton this, Bill Clinton that. And history has shown that he was probably one of the worst.
I don't know why you keep on bringing Clinton up. Maybe it's like just a difference in our ages. I'm 21, right? When Bill Clinton was president, I mean, I wasn't even a thought in the mind of my mom nor dad. Like, I would prefer just to stick on Trump. You're saying that we can't judge Trump and we're going to have to wait for history to judge Trump. Okay, well, this is just like the late stage MAGA cope. You're telling me that I can't judge Trump for raping a woman? Fuck you. You're telling me that I can't judge Trump for passing an illegal executive order that attempted to take constitutional rights away from those that have them when he tried to take away birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented undocumented immigrants born on American soil, even though they've been guaranteed that right since 1865. Fuck you. You're telling me I can't judge Trump for taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans, food stamps away from 3 million low-income Americans, and now because of Trump's government shutdown, 42 million Americans are going to lose access to SNAP benefits in less than a week from now? Big fuck you. Of course I could judge Trump for these things, and you should too.
Only history could judge a president.
Right, but we can't today, even though we know the facts. Go tell that.
No, we can't.
Go tell
There's
that.
no facts.
Go tell that to the 60. Go tell that to the 60 rape victims that got pregnant as a result of their rape, that try to access abortion every day in America and are denied in 10 of our 50 states because Donald Trump told SCOTUS to overturn Roe v. Wade. Go tell that to them, that they have no right to judge, right, one of the many people culpable for the reason why they cannot access health care. Now their body is going to be forced into bodily mutilation and torture for the next 9 months because of that. Go tell that to their face. Is that something you do?
Look, man, that's something different. So
now it's different. Now we can judge Trump.
That's different.
Now we can judge Trump.
Look, I don't agree with Trump on everything 100%, all right?
You don't agree with him on things? No. So therefore you're judging him on the things that you disagree with him on because you think they're wrong.
I don't. For example, I don't agree with him on abortion.
So then you're judging Trump for his immigration policy, right?
I think all this shit's happening because of Biden. If Biden wouldn't did what he did, and that idiot Kamala Harris, boo-boo, drug addict probably.
Yeah, no. Super.
You know they found a bag of cocaine. You know they found. You do know they.
I gotta kick him for saying the name of a. I gotta kick him for saying that. Can't be allowed on TikTok TOS. No. Super graceful, man. Yeah. No, I mean just super good, super great. Yeah, just super like intellectual, like smart guy right there. What's up? Do you support Trump? Hey, what's up? Are you MAGA, man?
Hello.
Hey, are you MAGA?
Yeah, I'm more in between. I just have a lot of viewpoints on what you were saying, and I just wanted to ask you on how you feel currently about how it's going.
Well, I feel very bad about it, and that's what we talk about on stream. But knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to November, who'd you vote for?
I actually didn't vote. I couldn't. I wasn't.
All right, you have a good one, man. Guys, we're going to go ahead and try to get a panel of Trump supporters up here. So if you're one of the 13.5 thousand people hanging out with us in the stream for the day, go ahead and hop in that queue, even only if you are MAGA. We're going to try to get maybe around like 5 or so Trump supporters up here and do a quick 1v5. What is going on, Austin? Are you MAGA?
Yes, what's up? I voted for Brent Peterson just because of his promotions toward banning the anxiety pins. I think they should be banned.
Cody, do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Age, well, you're out of age. That white 5.9, do you support Trump?
Yeah, man.
Age, please.
19.
What year were you born in?
2001.
Cooper, do you support Trump?
I used to, but I don't anymore. I just wanted to say that you're the.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for that love, Cooper. You're fucking awesome. We're looking for a panel of Trump supporters right now, but shout out to you, Cooper. I appreciate you for changing your mind. You're awesome, bro. All the love to you in the world. Please don't take me kicking you as a sign of disrespect. It literally just means you're too base to be on the live. What's up, JOD? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Samuel, do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Age, please.
18.
What year are you born in?
06.
What month?
February.
J-Mac, do you support Trump?
You know it, brother.
All right. How old are you?
30.
Okay, 1v4. Is that a little bit unfair? Should we get a fifth person up here?
You seem educated. I think it's fair.
We need a 3v2. You should get Parker up here, bud. You need him.
Oh, I need him. Okay, well, we'll see about that. Sean, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So we got our panel of 5. Here's what we're going to do. I'd like maybe 4 or 5 people to thank over on that Venmo and PayPal. Once I do, then we'll hop into the debate. Just quickly, Jeffrey, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo, who says, love what you do. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Dakota with a $1 and Bree with a 5. Thank you guys so much for the kindness, as well as Gigi, that is Gigi. Thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Thank you, Gigi. Gigi says, love watching you debate. Keep it up. Thank you so much for the love, Gigi. Show some love to Gigi. Then, of course, Charlie, thank you for the $5 as well over on PayPal. Jennifer with the $10 on Super Chat. And Taro with another $20 on Super Chat, who says, I also forgot to thank you for the future of my nieces as well, too. Thank you so much, Taro. You are awesome. Show some love to Gigi. So show some love to everyone. I appreciate you guys so much for your kindness. And I guess now we'll go ahead and we'll take it away. Chat, you guys are saying he would be 19. Which one? Which one would be 19? Which one of these guys?
The guy that was in 2021, the guy that you kicked out.
Yeah, I think it's Samuel. It's Samuel. I think Samuel would also be 19. Okay, we'll go ahead and just try to get a fifth person up here, and then we'll hop into things. I think we got Christian loading up in. Christian, what's going on? Do you support Trump? Christian, are you MAGA? Christian?
Going once, going twice, sold.
All right, Christian's not here. We're going to try one more person. If we can't find one more person, then we'll just do a 1v4. I just want to make it more fair for them. I just want to make it more fair. What's up, Rocket? Are you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and hop into a 1v5. One thing I'd recommend is if you're not talking, just to mute your mic, which you could do with the little icon of the mic down at the bottom of your screen right around there, just so like we're preventing like feedback noise, so on and so forth. But okay, folks, so all 5 of you on the panel with us right now support Trump as president. So let's go ahead and hop into things. Here's the first question for y'all. This is something that I talk about very frequently on the live, but I want to talk about it again today. Do you guys think that Donald Trump is good for the average American and low-income Americans?
Absolutely.
Okay, what about you, Rocket?
I think so.
Okay, what about...
I definitely think so.
Okay, what about you, Sean?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. J-Mac said yes. What about you, J-O-D?
I think we'll go for the clean sweep, yes.
Okay, what about you, Cody?
Yeah, bro, flesh.
All right, all 5 of you have affirmed that you think that Trump is good for low-income Americans. Here is the question. How can y'all possibly think that Trump is good for low-income Americans, considering the fact that under the big beautiful bill, he gutted Medicaid by $900 billion, which according to the CBO, who's ran by Republicans, is projected to increase Medicaid premiums by 75% for 55 million low-income Americans, while also kicking 10 million low-income Americans off of services completely, and also reducing funding for food stamps on the federal level by $156 billion, which according to the CBO, again, is going to cut food stamp benefits from 3 million Americans in the next 10 years, on top of the fact that according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the big beautiful bill as a whole is reducing the purchasing power for every American household making at or under $51,000 per year, disproportionately harming low-income American households by making the average price of energy go up by $500 per year for the average American household, which of course is more meaningful the less money you make. And on top of that, his tariffs are inevitably passed off to the end consumer once they're in the market, as they're factored into the cost of production and transportation of any given good, which will disproportionately affect low-income Americans since they spend a disproportionate amount of their income on the goods that they consume.
Okay, great job. I see your eyes looking over, and obviously this is your job. I'm working right now. I'm on my lunch break. I'm sure these other guys are also working men. We don't have data or sheets in front of us, so thanks for the info on the Medicaid and the numbers and the SNAP and all that. But I think we'll all agree, all 6 of us will agree that you can go outside and ask any single American, and you'll say, are you happy with your current health care? Is any American, rich, middle class, poor? Nobody's happy with our healthcare system right now. So, when you just spit out Medicaid this, Medicaid that, like a lot of people are struggling with those expenses. SNAP benefits, I heard you on some previous
Let me
debates
respond to that
talking
first
about
point.
that.
Let me respond to that first point.
Why? You just talked for like 5 minutes straight.
I know.
Out like 3 points.
I'll talk for less. We're just going to go point by point. So you just said, well, it's actually okay for Donald Trump to make healthcare even worse by making the premiums more expensive for low-income Americans and taking away from 10 million people. Here's an analogy. If I were to go ask the average American if they're happy with their car, what do you think they'd say?
Some would say yes, some would say no. I don't think it's at all.
For those that would say no, maybe they have.
I don't think that's a great metaphor at all.
For the Americans that would say that they're not happy with their car, maybe their tire tread is a little bit like suboptimal. Maybe they have some issues with like an oil leak, so on and so forth. A check engine light on. Do you think that things would be better for them if I just took their car away from them?
All right, I'm not going to engage in your whataboutisms or what-if-isms. It's
not a whataboutism. It's applying your logic to a way that makes it seem
We pay a lot for healthcare, and we're unhealthy. So I agree with all you're saying. Like, we should pay less. The average American should pay less. Low-income Americans shouldn't be struggling to afford healthcare, but we pay the most. We pay the most on average, and we're unhealthy, man. So So we need to shake up the bottle. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly the solution, but I know whatever's happening right now, you know what? I would be okay with doing the opposite of it because, like I said, like 1% of Americans are happy with our healthcare system right now. Less than 1%, I'd be willing to bet. So yes, like I don't care about Medicaid. I don't care about this or that or what he does to this because it already sucks.
Yeah, so you're just trying to justify tyranny by a description of pain. Here's my question for you. What specific issues is Donald Trump fixing inside of Medicaid by taking Medicaid away from 10 million low-income Americans?
Like I said, I do not know what he's fixing.
He's
I don't
not
know
fixing
how to
anything.
fix it.
Exactly my point. So don't try to sit here, JOD. Don't try to sit here and tell me that Donald Trump is making these systems proactively better, right, by taking these systems away from the people that need them the most.
He's not taking them away. He's cutting the funding down a little bit. He's limiting the funding. He's not taking them away fully. And Medicaid has loads of problems right now, and it's got to get fixed. He's trying to work on how to fix them before we dump all this money into Medicaid and we don't know if it's truly working or not.
Which is good for middle class and low income Americans.
And like free healthcare is a nice thing, but honestly, your taxes go way through the roof.
Here's my question for you, Sean. Here's my question for you, Sean. You just said that Donald Trump is working to fix the problems within Medicaid. What problems exist in Medicaid, and how is Donald Trump working to fix them? You're on the spot. Take it away.
Okay, awesome, cool. Yeah, no, so I have family that works in medicine, and I know Medicaid's a huge problem, and not a lot of doctors accept people who use Medicaid, so they get often pushed to lower quality doctors who don't really provide good enough care for people. So they're not getting the best support that they can. They're getting support by doctors who are working at places that only accept Medicaid. And there's a lot of fraud going on in Medicaid, and a lot of the spending is going to places that we don't know yet. So that's why he's cutting the funding down right now, just to determine what's going on with it and how good it's working truly and where it goes into. All the spending.
Okay, so you just said one of the problems. So you just said one of the problems with Medicaid is that not all doctors accept it. So yeah, it's like 90% of doctors are participating providers. However, I do wish more would be participating providers. And what exactly is Donald Trump doing to help fix this issue?
Well, he's cutting the funding down because I don't know where you got 90% of doctors.
How is defunding Medicaid by $900 billion over the course of the next 10 years helping to fix this issue?
Well, did you know that Medicaid has got funded $300 million more since 2019? So he's just cutting the funding down. It's already at $900 billion.
Okay, well,
so it's already went up $300 billion since 2019. So I don't understand what your point is.
We also have we have more low-income Americans since 2019 because of the pandemic and population growth. Should we not increase the funding to Medicaid to account for that too? Yeah, exactly. So now it makes sense. And by the way, right, he's not cutting it by $300 million. He's cutting it by $900 billion over the course of the next 10 years to fund the greatest redistribution of wealth from low-income Americans to high-income Americans per the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. And then once again, back to you, Sean. I asked you a question. What is Donald Trump doing to fix this issue of the fact that most providers not most, but some providers do not accept Medicaid? And then your response to that was to say, well, he's cutting Medicaid. So once again, I'll ask you the question. How is Donald Trump cutting Medicaid by $900 billion over the course of the next 10 years, helping to fix the issue that not all medical providers in this country accept it as a valid form of payment?
I mean, you could say he's cutting it over the next 10 years, but you know when he gets out of office, if a Democrat comes in, they're going to put the funding right back. So truthfully, it's not going to get...
We can only hope they'll save us. Are you going to answer the question, though? Because you're not answering the question. The question, once again, was, I asked you, what are the issues in Medicaid? You said it's the fact that not all providers accept Medicaid. Then I asked you, what is Donald Trump doing to fix this? And then you said, well, he's cutting it by $900 billion. So once again, I'm going to ask you for one last time, how is Donald Trump cutting Medicaid by $900 billion over the course of the next 10 years, fixing the issue that not all providers accept Medicaid as a valid form of payment?
It's not going to fix the issue. The issue itself is the Medicaid.
Okay, if that's not going to fix the issue, then why did you tell me it would?
Because Medicaid's the issue, not that Donald Trump's cutting the funding towards.
Oh, okay. So the way that we fix the issues within Medicaid is just getting rid of it as a whole?
Yes, and maybe we need a new thing.
So we need to replace Medicaid with a new thing. So what is Donald Trump replacing it with? We know that he's getting rid of it for 10 million low-income Americans. We know that he's increasing
He's not getting rid of it. He's cutting the funding down right now, currently.
Which according to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities, which once again is read by Republicans, is what is directly leading to 10 million low-income Americans losing access to service over the course of the next 10 years. So once again...
10 million Americans losing access to bad, low-quality care.
So what are they going to be left with? And also, Medicaid actually isn't that bad in all scenarios. But my question to you is, what are they going to be left with? The answer to that question is nothing. You said that we need to fix and replace it. Donald Trump isn't replacing it with anything. Okay, he has been in office for 5 years at this point, and he's been contemplating his policies for office for over 10 years at this point. And this whole time, he's been saying that we need to repeal and replace Obamacare. We need to repeal and replace the ACA. Medicaid has all these problems, but guess what? The real problem is taking these services away from people that need them to live, leaving them with nothing and replacing them with nothing. Okay, if you want to replace Medicaid with something better, be my goddamn guest. All right, so many low-income Americans can voice so many frustrations with the system, but guess what? That system still provides them with the only healthcare they have access to in order to fund their visits to the hospital, in order to fund their annual physicals, and in order to extend their lifespan by 5 to 15 years on average per low-income American. And what are they going to have if they don't have it? Nothing.
So, buddy, look at Canada. Look how their healthcare is. It is absolutely trash. Okay, you go into any kind of hospital anywhere, you're there for maybe a full day, just even if you got a little cut or something, bud. How good is Canada's healthcare system doing? And they haven't changed it in how long? How long have they had it like that? And I can say this because I guarantee you're gonna kick me off. I'm Canadian, bud. I'm from Ontario. But I like to be in these debates because...
Yeah, like what an idiot. So let's use that transition to what is he doing? He's changing the culture is really what we need. We're making America healthy again. You know, we're not just relying on going to the doctor as, you know, the end all be all for health. It's you are what you eat. It's let's look at other aspects of our culture and health and the cesspool that we're living in you know, just the unfortunate world of just everything of new and unfortunate, you know, dumping from being companies, things like that, and just biohazards. Just changing the culture of let's make America healthy again, which I think is a great thing.
Okay, so if you are what you eat, right? And now 42 million low-income Americans are losing access to any and all SNAP benefits starting November 1st because of Donald Trump's government shutdown, meaning they'll have less to eat. What does that mean for them?
It means that they will not use their money on their nails and their hair and their phone bill, and will use it on food instead.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So they don't actually need the food stamps to eat. Exactly.
I mean, dude, let's think about
110%. So if they didn't actually need the food stamps to eat, then explain to me why when we implemented this system into America, right, it is the case that it gave low-income Americans more economic mobility to be able to scale and grow their income from existing as a low-income American to median or middle-income earner. Explain to me why when we see the implementation of these systems on the global stage, such as in Nordic countries, right, the more social safety nets a country has, the more economic mobility their systems have. And explain to me why, right, this point's going to be important, why the average SNAP recipient, also explain to me why the average SNAP recipient only stays on benefits for 12 months or less, and why we have studies from various independent agencies that demonstrate that when an individual is allowed to gain access to SNAP benefits, their health outcomes improve.
Okay, 12 months or less. That's great. That shows that it's working as it should be. You know, they're getting help as it needs to, as they need to, and then in those 12 months, they're finding gainful employment and are able to support themselves.
And now November 1st,
that's a great thing.
Now November 1st, SNAP is going to be left with no funding because of Trump's government shutdown. 2 minutes ago, you were all about changing the culture. 2 minutes ago, you're all about changing the culture. 2 minutes ago, you were all about ensuring that everybody had proper food to eat on their dinner plate. 2 minutes ago, you were saying you are what you eat, and Donald Trump is making this country better by making people eat healthier. But now that you know the fact, right, that 42 million Americans, right, such a significant portion of our population is going to be losing access to their SNAP benefits that keep them alive, that keep dinner on the table every night, that feed them and their children, all of a sudden, right, well, they're just shitty low-income Americans, super lazy, and now they'll finally be forced to stop spending their money on nails and they'll be forced to spend it on food, right? You went from like caring about the people wanting to improve health outcomes to espousing the same bullshit, like anti-intellectual, evil rhetoric that we've heard about low-income Americans in this country for way too long from your side of the aisle. Not to mention building off of that fact, if you are what you eat, and individuals are now going to be eating less or eating eating less expensive food because Donald Trump is reducing the purchasing power of over half of this country through the big beautiful bill, according to
Then
the Senate budget
call your
policy
senator,
priorities.
Dean, and tell
well,
him
then
to
it
vote
seems like
through.
that half of our country is going to be worse off, right?
Dean,
Well,
call your
it's not-
senator and
hold
tell
on.
him to vote it through. Come on. Yeah, you know that this is Democratic filibuster.
One second.
But also, that's not the taxpayers' responsibility to feed these other people, Dean. Like I said, I don't want one person in the world to go hungry. My church is open. Our soup kitchen is open. We have food drives. And I'm sure all the other churches across America are open.
So let me get this straight. It's not the taxpayers' responsibility to ensure that children, men and women, right, in low-income brackets, right, are healthy. But it is the taxpayers' responsibility to spend $4.5 trillion on a bill that disproportionately helps the ultra-wealthy. It is the taxpayers' responsibility to give $40 billion to Argentina to help bail them out when they're experiencing economic instability. And it is the taxpayers' responsibility to apparently now give Trump $230 million straight from our pockets because of the emotional distress he felt when the DOJ was investigating him over the last 4 years. Do you hear how stupid you sound?
No, not at all, actually. Because it's the Democrat shutdown. The Republicans did not want to shut down the government. So yeah, the SNAP benefits, yeah, really sad. You know, so like you said, call your local senator.
Who controls the White House?
The media stint is over. It's done. They lost. It's the Republican shutdown. They won the narrative last shutdown with Trump. They lost it this time.
Who controls the White House?
Donald J. Trump.
Who controls the Senate?
Republicans.
Who controls the House?
Republicans.
Who controls the Supreme Court?
Republicans.
And yet you're still trying to blame it on the Democrats. Get real.
I'm pretty real, man. I'm pretty real. And like, just going back to SNAP, like,
right?
Nobody
Going back to
in
something
the
else, of course.
I mean, all right, or move on. What's your next topic? Whatever you want, Dean.
Are we all ready?
Sorry if I'm making you anxious.
No, you're
it's
not.
Not good for you. Stop vaping.
Well, it's also not good for you to be supporting an adjudicated rapist that has boasted about perving on kids while they're naked in their dressing rooms as president. I think we all have our vices, right?
I think it is good because I'm a white man, and and there are people
what the fuck
that.
Wait, what are you saying? It's good for me to support a rapist because I'm a white guy? What?
It's good for me to support Trump because I'm white, because people saw Charlie Kirk be publicly executed, and real humans reacted the way you reacted, with emotion, with sadness.
Wait, 1 second. Don't talk about me. Don't talk about me. Talk about your comment. You said it's good for you to support Trump because you're a white man.
Yeah, and when you were upset that somebody was publicly executed.
Stop talking about me. We're not talking about me. We're talking about your comment. What do you mean when you say it's good for you to support Trump because you're a white man? What does that mean?
Are you going to mute me again?
If you talk about me again, yes. I want you to answer directly my question. What did you mean when you said it's good for you to support Trump because you're a white man?
Because I saw a white man with conservative values who is more left-leaning than me be publicly executed, and people cheered for it. And even if you didn't cheer for it and you were upset about it, as a white man, they said, even though this guy Dean, who comes on and advocates for our policies and says all this and that, he's still a white man.
I have a question. Who killed Charlie Kirk? A white man.
Yes. Oh, is he a man or is he transgender?
Okay.
Don't misgender him, Dean. You'll lose some audience if you misgender him.
His shooter was a cis white man, just like you, just like me.
Okay.
Like what the wait, I'm so sorry. Like what kind of fucking argument are you trying to construct now? I feel like you were just trying to make this argument that like, oh, whoa, the white men, the only people capable of feeling empathy for the public execution of somebody else. First and foremost, a person that publicly executed him was a white man. Second of all, Charlie Kirk, who's a white man, has gone on his live before and said that Biden should be executed for his treason against America and that we should bring back public executions in the public. Not to mention the white man that you support as president is guilty of 34
Wasn't
felonies,
it weird
raping a
though
woman,
that like
boasting about perving on children. Not to mention the other white men that all throughout history that have done pretty bad things. I mean, most notably Hitler has one. Mussolini is too, but I mean, we don't even need to go there. I'm just still not sure that I understand quite what you mean.
I think what he's trying to explain.
I support Trump because I'm a white man.
Yes, I think what he's trying to explain is that white men have been discriminated in this country under Biden's policies with DEI and everything and diversity of hiring. And not a lot of white men recently have been able to get hired due to their race.
And also just everybody.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're giving me a good laugh. Listen, go ahead and tell me specifically what Biden policy discriminated white men.
So, just for example,
DEI.
The 19
DEI is a word. I'm asking for a very specific policy. In response to you, Sean, you said Biden's policy, right, made it so white men were discriminated in this country. Very specifically, what policy did? Oh, you're giving me a good laugh. Very specifically, what policy did Biden pass? Specifically, that caused there to be discrimination against white men in this country.
It was obviously supported by him. And the Democratic
what
Party.
specifically was supported by him that discriminated against white men? Because now you've shifted the goalposts. Because the original claim was that he passed policy that caused there to be discrimination against white men. But now you're saying he just supported things that caused there to be discrimination against white men. So, Sean, I will ask again, what did Biden support that blatantly was anti-white man discrimination?
DEI.
And what's DEI, Sean?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And how does DEIA or DEI discriminate against white men?
I think it's because it's making people hire people who are different races, not based off how good they do and how good of a job they work, and it's making job hiring all based on race.
Okay, well,
and I think removing that makes it not based on race, and it just makes it based on how good the job gets done. I think that was a great thing Trump did.
You have a fundamental misunderstanding of what DEI is. It's not something, right, that discards merit for a preference of race. It's actually something that discards a preference of race or gender for protection of merit by protecting against discriminatory hiring processes in which have disproportionately disadvantaged BIPOC individuals and women. Okay, that's the fact. You have it backwards. And now you're saying that Donald Trump has done something to fix this. We'll talk about that in a second. But I actually just want to ask the guest below you here something real quick. JOD, would I be right to assume that you agree with everything that Sean here is saying?
Yes.
Okay, and you said that you're pretty far right. Do you uphold traditionalism? You think the man should go out and work, the woman should stay at home, raise the kids, cook, clean, etc.?
Yes.
Okay. Well, guess what? You're actually now contradicting yourself because you just told me that we should be able to dictate what individuals do based upon their gender. Oh my God. Come on, bro. Really? Fucking really? You just told me that you think it's so bad. We need to have a merit-based economy. We shouldn't have an economy that gives preferential treatment and tells individuals what they should do based upon these immutable characteristics. But then in the same breath, you say that individuals should be doing these particular tasks based upon the immutable characteristic of what's in between their legs or what their gender is. Come on, bro. Get real. You're all over the place. Goddamn contradictory buffoon.
Okay, anyway, back to DEI.
Not back to that. Respond to what I just said. Okay, the only true application of what you and Sean up here described as DEI, which is like moving away from a merit-based economy to an economy that props individuals up, tells them what to do, predicated on their race or gender. Right. The only true example of that is traditionalism, in the sense where we're going to say, regardless of what your merit and/or qualifications are, if you're a man, you need to do these things, and if you're a woman, you need to do those things. Is that not a very true example?
Conservative values.
Is that not a true example, right, of what you are describing as DEI?
No, not at all. It is. It is just conforming into roles as we were intended to be, rather than
conforming into roles predicated on your merit or predicated on your gender.
Predicated on life.
Oh.
And marriage and reproduction. I don't know.
So is it merit or gender?
You're losing me a little. You're like this whatever gotcha you're trying to get. I think
it's just a fair question, sir. You said that men should go out and they should work. Women should stay at home, cook, clean, raise the kids.
Generally, yeah, okay. Sure.
So is that a predicate? Is that predicated right on their merit or on their gender, on their abilities to perform at these tasks, or what's in between their legs?
It is, yeah. It's on their gender, absolutely.
Okay.
And more often than not, the man's ability is superior to the women's in most areas.
Really? So then why are men better at leading than women?
So anyway, back to Biden DEI.
No, I just have a question real quick. Why do you think men are better at leading than women? Let's hear it.
Because I've never heard a man say I'm overstimulated. You know, just a quick one sentence answer. But anyways, back to
my Starbucks.
So
yeah.
So your argument here is no, not back to anything, because now I'm going to respond to that. So I don't know. Is the implication here is that you think that like men perform better under stress?
Sure.
Okay. Well, biology proves you wrong. Women have thicker dendrites. Spines. One second.
Nice little dude. Again, nice little thing.
Oh, muted. So biology proves you wrong. Women have thicker spines on the dendrites in their neuroanatomy.
Than you. Definitely better than you. You little weak. Great self-tell. Great self-report.
Hey.
Much thicker spine than you, Dean.
Hey, JOD, are you crashing out?
Listen, I'm not. I'm peaking. I probably laughed less loud than you laughed earlier.
What I'm going to ask you to do,
I think we're both having a great time.
Is just so you could calm down. What I want you to do is go ask for your mom to give you a better haircut, so you just have something to focus on, right? Like while we're debating here. But that profile.
Why not?
That's
actually, hold on.
That haircut's pretty nasty. That haircut's pretty nasty. Right, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just respond.
Just a quick question, Dean.
One second. No, I'm going to respond to what JOD said there. So once again, you think that men are better at dealing with stress under pressure than women. Biology proves you wrong. Women have thicker spines on their dendrites in their neuroanatomy. And why? Why might I add? It's because evolution gave them thicker spines on their dendrites in the context of their neuroanatomy to better deal with, manage, and process stress compared to men, because women can give birth. Okay, there is academic peer-reviewed studies literally from the 70s until now that have perpetually demonstrated that biologically speaking, women are predisposed to be able to deal with and manage stress better than men, not because they have to give birth, but literally because they possess the capability to do so. And we see this biological fact underpinned in many empirical data points in society at large that prove it to be the case. Like, for instance, the American Medical Association did a huge study on 1.4 million patients worldwide operated on by female and male surgeons alike. What they discovered is that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male, you're less likely to die as a result of your surgery, and you're less likely to experience negative postoperative outcomes. Why? Because they're better at dealing with the pressure of surgery. We also see this evidently clear through the fact that men are significantly more likely to engage in emotionally driven thought processes instead of rational ones, such as women, right? This is why men commit 92% of violent crimes. This is why men are significantly more likely to self-unalive than women. This is why men account for 85% of the hard DRUG abuse as an unhealthy coping mechanism to deal with unprocessed emotions, right? And why women are significantly more likely to go to therapy for their unprocessed emotions. This is also why men are more likely to recklessly drive. This is why men are more likely to drunk drive. And
you're reading from ChatGPT.
Reading from ChatGPT. Well, I'll make sure to go ahead and continue this with my eyes closed. And it's why women outperform men in the context of school at all grade levels, even excelling in the context of higher levels of education, getting better grades, and getting more degrees.
These whatevers,
right? And just to continue on from there, women also have a higher EQ on average.
Lives in the world.
And I'm actually talking about the world. These are all empirical facts. I could keep on going, but it looks like the little baby wants to interject, so take it away.
Little baby, that's hilarious. Testosterone is literally foreign to your body. Yeah, every man here lives in the world and knows you just like regurgitated the same things on, your little Nick Fuentes debate that we've all heard 1,000 times. Like, we all live in the world and just know whatever you said.
What are your test levels?
Like, my test levels?
Yeah, you're talking about like test levels. You said it was foreign to my body. What are your test levels?
That's information I'll keep to myself.
No. I mean, you want to talk about my test levels so you could dish it, but you can't take it? Oh, that's really weak of you, man. What are your test levels? Serious.
Dude, they're through the roof, man. They're through the roof.
So like, if you had to be like more specific, what do you think they would be? Like specifically.
Dude, I'll send. I have them. I'll send them.
So like, what are they? Like more specifically, like what do you think your test levels are?
Okay, so anyway.
No. Like, seriously. Oh wait, what do you even know what test levels are like measured in?
Dude. Yes.
Yeah. Education and worldly knowledge is foreign to your body. If you're going to try to make like a sick burn saying like, oh, dude, you don't have any testosterone, you at least got to know the basics. It's measured in nanograms per deciliter. The average level of testosterone that a male has is around 500 to 600 nanograms per deciliter.
We're gonna read from the page.
Yeah, here we go again. Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead. We're all ready for story time.
No, I know it's funny. You guys are like acting like the Wicked Witch of the West and like the in the fucking in that one movie with the Tin Man and the red shoes, Wizard of Oz, right? When she gets water thrown on her, when I'm just like speaking facts, like here I am just sharing worldly knowledge, informing you of facts of reality, and then you're like, oh, here we go again. Dean's educating us. Holy fucking shit! Is this what it feels like to be a 4th grade teacher? Seriously. But anyways, go ahead and give a rebuttal to all the evidence that I gave you, both biologically and socially, that demonstrates that women are not more likely to engage in emotionally driven thought processes and do deal with and manage stress better than men. Because the fact of the matter is, you made a claim. You said that they were worse under pressure and stress. You said that they're more likely to think emotionally. I gave you evidence to prove you wrong, and then your response was to complain and whine, which is really funny because that is an example of the emotional thought processes of the man. So in fact, I know I gave you 2 arguments to prove you wrong: the biological underpinning of what would predispose women to be better with dealing with stress, evolutionarily speaking, all of the empirical data points where that point is exuberated. But my third counter argument is literally you. Because if instead of responding to me with a logical, cohesive following argument to demonstrate that what I said was incorrect, you instead started fucking whining like an emotional man toddler. So thank you for being the own objection to your own position. Are you feeling overstimulated?
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I did just look something up while you were reading that, though. And it says that a 2018 study found that men on average exhibit a stronger cortisol response to acute stress.
Did you hear that?
Which can enhance focus and quick decision making in high pressure scenarios.
The empirical data has proven unequivocally that studies since 1960 show that this piece of paper says, like, dude, I'm married, I have a wife, like, I have a mom, I have sisters, like, they don't.
So Cody,
they don't perform well under.
So you said that like they exhibit like stronger like cortisol responses.
Yeah, let me see if I can tell you.
Did you know that
stress response and decision making in neuroscience?
Did you know that cortisol is the stress emotion? You didn't know that because you've never done this research a day in your life. So you just proved your own point wrong.
Recovery from.
You just proved your own fucking point wrong. You just said that they exhibit more cortisol, stronger cortisol responses, more of this stress hormone. God damn, unreal, Cody.
You care if I interrupt real quick? I gotta go, but I do want to talk to you about something quick.
Rocket, are you like the more sane Trump supporter of the group?
I hope so. I mean,
these three are pretty wild, huh?
I mean, it did get a little crazy for a second. That's why I'm trying to deflect a little bit. But I just wanted to talk to you for a second as far as like tariffs and taxes and stuff go. I think it's beneficial because as far as made in America goes, we're not really, self-reliant. I made a comment earlier in the live about the Keystone Pipeline, fracking, stuff like that. I think as far as, gas prices, like that's been talked about earlier too, if we're supplying our own oil, our own materials, wouldn't you think that would be cheaper for the average American as opposed to importing it from foreign countries?
Well, actually, no, not really, because oil produced in other countries is typically cheaper than the oil that we produce in America. But if you're curious, nobody's been better for the production of American oil than the Biden-Harris administration. Go on Google, type in EIA.gov, U.S. crude production of oil. What you will see is that the most oil there was ever produced in any given month under Donald Trump and his first administration was 12.9 million barrels of oil per day in December of 2019. The Biden-Harris administration was able to beat that and produce over 13 million barrels of oil per day for over a year and a half straight, from July of 2023 until the end of their administration, after an incredibly quick, sharp rebound from the drastically low levels of oil production in this country onset by the pandemic. So if you like oil being made in America, look no further than Mr. Biden and Miss Harris.
Okay, well, you could be right about that. I don't have a screen. I'm not like super political. I just kind of, look around for things that, make sense to me. Oil aside, as far as tariffs go, I'm super into cars, as you can see in my profile picture. As far as foreign cars, German cars in particular, like Mercedes-Benz or BMW, They had a massive hit. They were selling a lot less cars once tariffs hit. They're now opening their own manufacturing facilities in the United States. So that's another example of, supplying our own needs, vehicle wise. And that goes for other things as well. That's just an example. Like I said, I'm a car guy.
So you just said BMW. I just looked up BMW moving to America. I'm finding a source here that it looks like from literally last year, so before Donald Trump's tariffs, saying that they're all running manufacturing cars in the U.S. Are you talking about Mercedes? That's the other brand that you said.
Yeah, it was one of them. I forget. I saw it a while ago. I forget the exact brand. But as far as manufacturing our own goods,
yeah, Mercedes has had a plan in Alabama for like 25 years.
Like I said, I forget which one. One of them closed down and reopened once the tariffs hit.
Okay. Well, that would require business investment to reopen it, fund employees. On the macro scale, what we see is that investment into American manufacturing has actually gone down. All that you need to do in order to prove this to yourself is just to go on Google, type in FRED, real fixed private investment into American manufacturing. It absolutely boomed under the Biden-Harris administration since Donald Trump won the election, and during the first 3 quarters of his term so far, it has not only gone stagnant, but it's gone down after a massive, massive boom. Anything else?
Not really. That was pretty much it. Like I said, the tariffs were my main concern because for me, I know the big, beautiful bill. Hopefully next year's tax returns are pretty good. But if tariffs are making up for that, like I said, manufacturing within the United States instead of outsourcing our goods.
Manufacturing in America is going down. Like our annualized GDP growth this year is like 1.3% according to the Feds. Last year is 2.4%. I already told you about GDP, about investment in manufacturing too. That's also going down. The compiled effects of the destruction on the industries onset by Donald Trump's mass deportation or the forceful expulsion of 8.4 million of our laborers and 11 million of our consumers will only compound those negative effects. As per the American Immigration Council, undocumented immigrants input $1.1 through $1.7 trillion into our GDP per year. So if you care about American manufacturing, Donald Trump's economic policy, tariffs, and immigration policy would be the last choice on your docket.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this too. If that's his policy, like what's your opinion, we'll say tariffs aside, of made in America and being dependent and not dependent on other countries?
Self-dependency is just inefficient. Okay, right? Yeah, globalization of commerce is good because it's efficient. It allows us to focus on producing the things that we're good at producing, and it doesn't force us into making the things that we're not good at making. Right? We should have an efficient economy that operates accordingly, and being quote unquote self-reliant is so totally inefficient. Globalization of commerce is a necessity for the function and prosperity of the American people and the economy in which they work in.
So my question is, I guess, is it inefficient or less efficient? And say it's a little bit less efficient.
It's inefficient. No, it's literally inefficient.
Is it more stable? Say like, China. If we go to war with China, they stop importing goods. Where are we going to get them? You know what I mean? If we're self-dependent, it might, cost a little bit more. But is it safer for the American people to not worry about what if China?
100%.
Well, that's why that's why with our foreign trade policy, we're not just dependent on one country. That's why we're dependent on a plethora of countries. Okay, right? So maybe if we went to war with every other country on Earth, we would gravely suffer. Right, but I don't really think that's too realistic of a hypothetical.
Well, I want to give you a quick example.
And maybe that's why it's important to also seek global denuclearization and more peace agreements amongst countries to prevent that from occurring. Right, but matter of fact, right, making things harder on the American people, making their prices higher, right, would only position us worse if we were to go to war with China, because now our country is domestically crippled. People are less happy. People are less confident. More people are starving. People can't afford what they need to live. Right, that's only going to mean worse for our soldiers fighting on the front lines, and they're under a failing economy with less money to fund our military. It's actually for the betterment of national security to have a more prospering economy so that our government has more money to delegate it where it needs to be in wartime.
Well, I want to give you an example too. Back when COVID hit and stuff, there was a chip shortage for vehicles as well because of a trade agreement that fell through with China, and that was huge. That drove the cost of vehicles up a lot, and that was very minor. So as far as that goes, like, what do you have to say about that? That's just one country that created like a huge,
Well, that was global supply chain issues. Nothing to do with specifically a trade agreement that fell through with China. Global supply chain issues. And I agree with the Biden-Harris administration's response to that: to subsidize American chip producers, to give them money to open up more plants on American soil and pay their employers higher wages. And according to the Chips and Science bill that the Biden-Harris administration passed, that wasn't tariffs, rather the subsidization of companies where and when they need it. Okay, we're now going from producing less than 1% of the global chip supply to close to 30. So if you want to focus more attention on American industries, the way to do that isn't by crippling our domestic relations and really harming the American consumers by imposing higher tariffs on them while making the market as a whole less efficient, but it's rather just to simply impose smart and reliable subsidies into American companies where need be, right? In the words of conservative icon Ronald Reagan, tariffs are bad in the long term and short term because they reduce the amount of competition in the market, and then which reduces our own innovation and then makes us less competitive on the global stage, fucking us over and helping other countries.
Well, can I combat that and say that you just said that they started opening more plants in the United States and paying their employees more, and that would be spending more money to be made in America and self-dependent?
It's spending more money with a return on your investment and without higher prices for the American consumer and with a more efficient economy. Tariffs is having the consumer spend more money without a return on their investment, fucking them over while also propping up a less productive economy with more inefficiency. There's big differences.
I think the point of the tariff was to cost the supplier more so that they would move, their manufacturing plants to America to get around those tariffs. That way they are made in America and more self-sufficient.
Well, two reasons why that's not going to happen. Two reasons why that's not happening and why it's not going to happen. First and foremost, when you're not imposing tariffs on every other country in the world, well, then they could just transship their products into America. Like, for instance, right now we have super high tariffs on China. So instead of companies wanting to spend 4 to 5 years in building production plants in America and billions of dollars too, they're just sending their products to to a country in Europe and then sending them into America. Point number 2, in order for tariffs to drive more manufacturing plants operating overseas into this country, right? Well, those tariffs have to be long-term and they have to be reliable, okay? These companies have to know that those tariffs are going to consistently remain on the country they're moving from in order to make those multi-billion dollars investments and spend 3 to 6 years in order to build the facilities in this country. Let's use some common sense here.
I think Hyundai,
Donald Trump's tariffs,
Hyundai did it.
One moment. Donald Trump's tariffs since Liberation Day, have they been consistent, long-term, and reliable, or has he been changing them nearly every 5 minutes?
Yeah, good point.
That is a good point. But I will say, too, as far as tariffs go, is it more changing it every 5 minutes, or is it fine-tuning it in a way that it works better?
Oh, well, I don't think it's fine-tuning it in a way that works better. Explain him imposing 50% tariffs on Argentina, taking them back, giving them $20 billion, imposing the 50% tariffs on Argentina again, then taking it back and then giving them another $20 billion. You're just trying to turn, right, a mockery of foreign relations and foreign policy dedicated and driven by a man with an IQ under, fucking 75, right? Is like 5D chess. He's just, doing the art of the deal, and this is fine-tuning to make it better. I feel like Donald Trump could literally shit on the top of the White House, and the next thing we'll know, we'll have millions of Trump supporters propping up saying, I actually think that's very smart, wise, and intellectual of him. Maybe there's some good reason to do this. Maybe when he literally shits on the top of the White House, it really sends a signal to other countries in the world not to fuck with him, right? Because he'll shit on he'll shit on the Kremlin. You know what I mean? It's just you're trying to turn a mockery of policy into the art of the deal, 5D chess, and I can't support that.
So do you think that there's no possible way a tariff could ever work, or do you think he's just going about it the wrong way?
What I do know is that there's no possible way Donald Trump's tariffs could ever work, because there's no clear goal, they're not long-term, they're wide and expansive, they're hurting the American consumer, and we're already seeing the empirical outcome of that being a higher level of inflation every single month since they've been imposed, and a massive surge in reduction and investment into American manufacturing, and the highest level of economic instability for the average American that we've seen since the early 2000s.
So I want to ask you, I got to go in just a second, but you honestly think, on paper, is it a good idea he's just going about it the wrong way?
No, on paper, his plan is terrible. This is why I was calling his plan terrible before the election, and this is why I was predicting the outcomes that we're seeing today.
Okay. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to agree to disagree. I got a little bit of faith in it, just because, like I said, it makes sense to me.
What makes sense to you? What specifically makes sense to you?
Like I said, investing a little bit of our own money into our own country to, manufacture our own goods, to me makes more sense.
We're just not seeing more manufacturing. We're not seeing that. We're seeing less.
Well, it's pretty early. There's a lot of folks that have committed to development within the U.S.
When are we going to see that trend turn around?
I don't know how long it takes to build a Hyundai plant.
Right. Well, Hyundai actually isn't building any new plants. They're just expanding their operations that already exist, or so they say. But in all reality, GDP growth is down. Investment into American manufacturing is down. And sure, you could tote and gloat about the big wins, but those big wins are significantly succumbed and overpowered by the big losses. Those big losses are seen in the ever-increasing amount of unemployed Americans. Those big losses are seen in the fact that we have more unemployed Americans today than open job opportunities for the first time in 15 years. Those big losses are seen in the reduction in investment in American manufacturing, and those big losses will only be continued to seen, and as I pointed out earlier, compiled and made worse by Donald Trump's mass deportation. Like you're saying that, we're going to move all this manufacturing back to America, but now we're going to be forcefully removing 8.3 million workers for those manufacturers. Make it make sense. It's just a complete mess.
I think that'll help the low-income people that are on SNAP benefits be able to go get some work and health care, like we discussed at the top of the hour.
In order to be on SNAP benefits in this country, you have to be working. There's a work requirement on it. Bad point.
Yeah, 80 hours a month.
If you want to help those people that are on the SNAP benefits, then you wouldn't be supporting Trump, because due to his shutdown, as we pointed out maybe 13 minutes ago, they're all now losing SNAP benefits because SNAP has no more money to spend due to Trump's government shutdown.
I think we.
Dean, I gotta go, Dean. But if you want to continue this conversation later, I'd love to come back because I got a lot of topics I'd like to discuss with you.
Yeah, feel free. Okay, so it looks like Rocket has to leave. So we're just left with God and Cody, the two problem children. So are you guys still standing 10 toes behind your fictitious claims surrounding how women are just so emotional and unable to lead, while you're supporting the most emotional president that we've ever seen in the history of this country, whining about how ugly Taylor Swift is because she dissed on him before the election, or begging the American people to pay him $230 million because the emotional distress and harm he felt from the DOJ investigating him during the last 4 years.
Yeah, definitely a troll in that regard. Do you want to talk about crime?
Oh, sure.
His hard on crime policies?
Yeah, we could talk about his pardons of the 72 violent offenders that tried to beat up or kill cops on the steps of the Capitals that he pardoned. We could also talk about the CEO of a cryptocurrency company that he just pardoned by saying, well, he was prosecuted by Biden, therefore he didn't actually do it. We could talk about his pardon
I kind of mean
Santos.
Violent crime, like the stuff that affects American people.
Violent crime. So we could talk about how he was held civilly liable for rape by a civil court 2 years ago. We could talk about how we went on Howard Stern's podcast and boasted about
the jury didn't find him guilty of rape on that, Dean. You know that. You know that was Kaplan that changed that.
Oh, so
after the jury said,
do you think that rape
I don't support rapists?
Do you think that
just
you
so
don't
you know?
Support rapists? Yeah, you do. Do you think that rape? So do you believe what the jury found him to have done was accurate?
The jury didn't convict him of rape.
Okay, yeah, it was
Kaplan changed that charge.
It was sexual assault, right?
Abuse, I think.
Sexual abuse. Okay. Well, so do you think that they're accurate in their adjudication?
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about that.
No, enough about
that case.
Let me ask you here: do you think that? Do you think that rape?
Crime in general.
Do you think that rape would include the forceful penetration of a woman's female member against her will?
Absolutely.
All right, this is where I'll hop off. Take point on this one, Cody. Thanks for having me.
All right, kid. All right. So do you think that rape would include the forceful penetration of a woman's female member with a man's fingers unconsensually?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Yep.
So that's what the jury found Trump guilty for.
I understand that.
So you think they found him guilty for rape charge?
Right? No.
But you just said that rape would include
not according to the New York
guilty for.
Not according to the New York law. Now, I'm not his defense attorney. I was just asking generally about hard on crime policies in the United States. So do you support what he's doing there?
What hard on crime policies? The militarizing American cities?
Going into Washington, D.C. with the National Guard and having a presence of policing and crime going down significantly because of it. It's just a no-nonsense approach to crime.
Well, I don't think that
And-
Donald Trump is deploying the National Guard in D.C. to rid D.C. of violent crime, or else he wouldn't have pardoned D.C. violent criminals.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, crime is on the fall, and it's working. So,
Well, I mean, he actually gave an legal criminal directive to the members of the military being deployed in these cities, telling them to arrest citizens. That violates the Posse Comitatus Act. So actually, the people in these cities, the members of the military, are like committing crimes if they follow that directive.
detained, I think was the word he used. Not arrest and charge. The military can't charge citizens with crimes.
Right. All right, Cody. Well, I want to thank a couple of people. We've gotten a lot of donations in while we were talking to that panel.
I'm gonna head out. Dean, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you take care, Cody. Wow! Woo! 1v5! Oh, that was tiring. But we did it. Holy shit. That was pushing it. That was pushing it for me. Uh-oh. Sorry, you guys can't see me right now. It's because I accidentally knocked my camera. Whoops. I know it's frozen. Give me a second. That would be my bad, quite frankly. That is on me. That's my fault. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, while my camera's working on unfreezing, give me a second here. We're going to go ahead and get the next guest loaded up into the stream. Oh, I activated it and I deactivated it and now it's all black. Okay, let me go turn my camera. Oh, no signal. And it's back. Look at that. That's great. All right, let's go ahead and get that very next Trump supporter loaded up into the box. I got a handful of you guys to thank for your incredibly kind love and donations that we've seen here. Zach, this literally came in. Yo, Ida, ITA, thank you so much for the Leon McCann. I really appreciate you for the love, Ida. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to get the next guest up here, right? When I end every sentence that I say, I'm going to thank someone just so we could break it up because there's a lot of y'all and I really want to thank you guys for the love. Like, seriously, I really appreciate it. If you're watching right now and you want to support me, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio and TikTok and in the pinned message over on that YouTube stream. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now. The first donation I'd like to thank here is from Zach. Thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love, Zach. Zach with a $50. Let's get 500 Zach W's. Says, Dean, do I feel dumb? But how do they blame Dems for the shutdown when Republicans are in control of the totality of the federal government? Well, I mean, actually, no, that's not a dumb thing to say at all. That's a good point. I made that point earlier. It's insane how they're just going to blame it on the Dems. Appreciate you for the $50, Zach. We still got the next guest loading up as well as Marin. Thank you for the $50 on Super Chat too. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 Zach W's and 500 Marin W's as well. But $50, that's your shit ton of money. Thank you so much, Marin and Zach. You guys are awesome. Marin says, I really resent the bad quality of care comment as a nurse practitioner who works in healthcare. In cancer care, we take exceptional care of patients who have Medicaid. I believe it. I absolutely believe it, Marin. Thank you so much for the $50. Show some love to Zach and Marin, as well as Ida. Thank you for the Flying Jets. What's going on? Do you support Trump, Duncan?
I do.
Okay, how old are you?
18.
What year were you born in and what time is it?
2007, it is 2:24.
What state are you in?
I'm in Missouri.
Well, name 3 cities in Missouri.
Jefferson City, St. Louis, Kansas City.
I don't believe you. I think that you prepped those questions ahead of time. I think that you're from the UK. We're going to move on to the next guest. I'm just trusting my gut there. Folks. We're going to go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here right now. We got Snoops McGee loading in. While we're getting Snoops McGee in here, thank you so much for the $5 over on Super Chat. Appreciate you for that love. Heather, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for that kindness, Heather. You are quite frankly fantastic. Show some love to Heather for the 10, as well as Bo Bateman. Thank you so much for the $10 on Super Chat. Who says Dunning meet Kruger? Dude, the Dunning-Kruger effect within the Trump supporters is fucking real. Okay, it is so real. Appreciate you for the love, Bo. And then DK, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you for that love, DK. Thank you so much for your kindness and your donation to the stream. Show some love to DK down below. What's going on, Isaiah? Do you support Trump?
I did.
You do. Are you driving? You are. I don't even know why I need to ask. You can't be driving on TikTok live, man. Feel free to come back when you're not driving. Feel free to come back when you're not driving. Show some love to our donors. We got a couple more here. Marin, thank you so much for the $20 on Super Chat, who says Dean is more of a man than these MAGA nerds will ever be. Dude, yeah. I mean, like specifically those last ones, they weren't men. They were little boys. They thought like them too. Appreciate you so much for the love, Marin. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to call you Dare, D-A-R. Thank you for the 20 pounds over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, Dare. That is D-A-R. Let's get 200 Dare W's. Dare says, yo, Dean, here's just a little compensation for all the MAGA idiots that you've been talking to all day. Well, thank you so much for the 20 pounds, man. You were quite frankly awesome. And look at that. We're already all caught up on the Super Chats. Now we just have to catch up on Venmo and PayPal. What's going on? Do you support Trump? 5 seconds, not here. Moving on to our next guest. All right, guys, only hop in that queue if and only if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. Over on Venmo, Sabrina, thank you so much for the $30 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Sabrina with the 30 says, from an overstimulated woman herself, please remind them of the percentage of men who are school shooters each year. That is a very intense and emotional response at its peak. Women just simply don't do it. Tell these crybaby boys to go to therapy. Appreciate you for the love, Sabrina. They do need to go to therapy. They were fucking whining their asses off, dude. Thank you for the $30. Thank you so much for the love and donation to me and what we do here on the stream. Shout out to Sabrina down below in that chat. What's going on? Do you support Trump, Braden? Dude, holy shit, Braden, you have 5 seconds before I kick you. Braden's just not here. I think that MAGA is scared of me.
Dean, I love you.
Well, I appreciate you for the love, man.
I'm too young, but
I think that MAGA is scared of me after seeing me like handle that 1v5 with grace, right? They're like, nah, I can't do it. I'm too scared. I can't go up. Tyler, thank you so much for the $10.
Those cars both need oil changes. They need maintenance. Nobody cares.
Okay, I don't know. I don't really want to know what's going on there, so I'm just going to kick him and move on to the next guest. Go ahead and hop in that queue of your MAGA. Like I was saying, Tyler, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Appreciate that, man. I want the 15 or 16,000 people watching right now. Let's show some love to Tyler in that chat as well. Show some love to Christy in that chat for the $25 over on Venmo. Christy says, donated to please ask you to post the portion of your debate about women being better understood than men. Give me a second.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man? I need to listen to it again and share, please. Christy, I actually did post that clip on my Instagram like a month and a half ago. If you scroll on my Instagram, you will find it. Thank you so much for the $25. Let's get 250 Christy W's, Kristi. Like I said, a bunch of donations to catch up on here from that last conversation. We're just going to break it up in between the debate. But welcome in, Mason. Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, and how old are you?
21.
Okay, what year are you born in?
2004.
Can I get a W Jared from you?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, well, fuck you. W Jared in the comment section for the $10 on Venmo, who says these guys are fragile, toxic masculinity at best. Talking about that last group of guys. Oh, absolutely, Jared. They were terrible. Thank you for the $10. Take it away. Why do you support Trump?
I don't know. I like his policies. I like what he's doing for America.
Okay, like be more specific.
I think he's
like name like one thing he's doing for America that you're just a huge fan of.
I like the tariffs.
Okay, well, I mean, we just had like a 30-minute conversation about the tariffs. Anything else?
Yeah, just like the guy in general. I think he's better fit for office. And
okay, you like the man.
And then
okay. You really shouldn't like the man because he's such an unlikable man that has done absolutely terrible things. Like, would you ever like Diddy? Would you ever like Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Then you shouldn't like Trump either. You shouldn't like Trump either. Court found him.
Trump's not proven for doing shit like that.
Yeah, so court found him guilty of raping a woman, and he just straight up boasted.
Yeah, it wasn't a criminal court, Dean.
It was a civil court, right? Still proven.
Okay, he didn't get convicted of it.
He was held liable. I know, right? But he's found guilty in a civil court.
Okay, and it came out, what, 30 years after it happened?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
And?
So, I mean, so he finally got running for president. People are going to come out and try to stop him, you know?
Okay, so you're just saying that her allegation was bullshit, and you do not believe the jury. Okay, so where did the jury go wrong? Like, actually, like, I want you to go
They're
ahead.
probably leftists.
Okay, probably leftist. Can you name one piece of evidence they ruled his guilt on?
No.
Oh, so you don't know one piece of evidence that they ruled his guilt on, but you don't think they ruled his guilt with evidence. Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Let me go and thank a couple other people. Jamie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love. That came in 27 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the love. I really hope that you're still here. Jamie with a $20 says, thank you for owning these soulless ignorant losers. Make them pay. Jams on TikTok. Thank you so much for the love, Jams. Let's show some love to Jams in that chat. As well as Campbell, thank you for the 5. And Peter, thank you so much for the $150 donation over on Venmo. Oh my God. I want to see 1,500 Peter W's down below in that comment section for the $150. Jesus Christ. Peter with 150 on Venmo says, it is invaluable watching you destroy these misogynistic MAGA cult tool bags. Keep being a badass. Peter, you're the fucking legend. You're the goddamn goat. That is way too much money. I do not deserve that much love. Show some fucking love to Peter. That is so generous of you, dude. Seriously, thank you so much for the $150. I want to see so much love to Peter in all of the live chats. In fact, we're going to go ahead and destroy another misogynistic MAGA cult tool bag right now. Sir, if you knew with certainty that Donald Trump, he hasn't actually done this, he's a great guy, remember that, had sexually exploited women and or girls, okay, by walking into their dressing rooms unconsensually and looking at them when they had no clothes on, right, would you still support him as president?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Where's the evidence of that?
Right here.
You want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Sir, you're at a goddamn fork in the road, okay? Your first option is to be a man of your word, stick to your guns. Before I played you that clip, you said if Donald Trump had done the things he just admitted to in that clip, you would no longer support him as president. So redact your support from Trump, take off the red hat, and stop being a member of a cult. I think the second option, the second fork in the road is, the second path through the road is what is going to be more likely for you, which would be to be a raging fucking hypocrite, contradict yourself, and somehow argue that you still support Trump, even though you just heard him admit to doing something that you had said not even a minute and a half ago that if he had done, you no longer support him. So which one? Are you going to be intellectually honest? Are you going to be a man of your word? Are you going to redact your support from Trump? Are you going to be a goddamn raging MAGA hypocrite?
So that video, is his face in the video, or is it just like an audio clip?
This was on Howard Stern's radio show, live August 21st, 2005. So it was just, it was voice because it was a radio show.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but I got a question for you, Dean.
Well, I'm not ready for your question for me. I want you to tell me, do you still support Trump? Are you a raging fucking MAGA hypocrite? Or are you going to be a man of your word, stick to what you told us before I played you that clip, and redact your support from Trump? You straight up said you would no longer support Trump, right, if he did do exactly what you just heard him admit to doing. So do you still support Trump?
I do.
Okay. So why are you such a fucking hypocrite?
How am I a hypocrite?
Because right before I played that clip, you said if he had done those things, then you would stop supporting him. I mean, like, do you want me to roll it back?
Dude, technology's so good.
Let's just go ahead and like dollars.
His face
I want to see so much love to
saying
Peter in all of the live chats. And shut up. We're gonna go ahead and destroy another misogynistic MAGA cult tool bag right now, sir. If you knew with certainty that Donald Trump, he hasn't actually done this. He's a great guy. Remember that. Had sexually exploited women and or girls, okay, by walking into their dressing rooms unconsensually and looking at them when they had no clothes on, right, would you still support him as president?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, so what was that? Why did you just lie? No, like seriously, why did you just lie? Were you like trying to act like a normal person? Was that what you were trying to do? No, I wouldn't support Trump if he sexually exploited women and or girls. Right? Just because you're on live in front of so many people, you just lied? Come on. Speak. Defend yourself.
like I said, technology is so good. That could have been an AI clip, or it could have been anyone impersonating him. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have his face of him saying that.
Yeah,
Like, that could just be propaganda trying to get him in deep shit.
Question.
What's up?
When did AI when did AI become technologically advanced enough to emulate somebody's voice?
I don't know. I'm not a freaking
In the
AI
last 2 years, not in 2005. Silly fucking goose.
That's awesome. Okay.
Okay, it could have been AI. No, it couldn't.
Okay, and there's timestamps and proof that this was taken in 2005.
Dude, it's Howard Stern. It's not some like random radio show. Yes, this Howard Stern's radio show was like the biggest like radio show ever in 2005. I could guarantee you, just because of the amount of people that we have listening in right now, right, that there's going to be like a significant amount of like the older audience of the stream that like literally listened to it live in August of 2005. Yes. Like, this wasn't some random, small, little unknown radio show. Fucking Joe Biden's been on Howard Stern's show. Hillary Clinton's been on Howard Stern's show. Beetlejuice, the Beetlejuice that everyone knows is popular because of Howard Stern's show. It's Howard Stern. Why do you think Howard Stern was able to become a judge on, like, America's Got Talent? It's because he got so damn popular off of this goddamn radio show.
Okay.
So then why did you lie when you said you wouldn't support him if he had done this, now that you know he has?
I don't know.
You don't know? Dude, I feel like I'm like catching like a fucking toddler sticking their hand into the cookie jar right now. Like, this is embarrassing for you. This is so embarrassing for you.
Listen. You get to create all your own arguments. How come I can't ask you a question?
Oh, for sure. I'll let you ask me a question after you say, Dean, I'm a raging MAGA hypocrite. Then I will allow you to construct your own argument. Come on, you know that's hypocritical. That is the definition of hypocrisy. Can you deny that? Do you deny that is the definition of hypocrisy? Do you deny that you, sir, are the definition of hypocrisy? Be real, like, actually, yes or no, do you deny that?
Sure.
You do deny that? You deny that it's hypocritical to say I would stop supporting Trump if he had done this thing, and then when you learn that he has done that thing and you can't refute it because it's a fact, you still support him?
Dean. It's just an audio
listen to the proof.
recording,
Yeah, just an audio recording
it's
of
his
him
voice.
admitting it on the largest
it's his
radio show of
voice.
2005. Yes.
People have similar voices, Dean.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Donald Trump went on this radio show because it was the largest radio show of the day. And it wasn't just this one time. He went on it multiple times. He's spoken about going on Howard Stern's radio show. Howard Stern has spoken about him coming on his radio show. And this clip has been circulating the goddamn internet since 2005. In fact,
and he
right
still
now
became president.
In fact, right now yes, because of people like you. Right now I'm like literally replaying this clip, like, because CNN reposted it 8 years ago. Like, dude, like Donald Trump launched a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal less than 24 hours after they reported that he sent a letter to Epstein. Okay? Right? Because he thought that reporting was fake. So if he thought this reporting was fake from Howard Stern, if he thought this reporting was fake from CNN who reposted the video, why has he never done as much as talk about it, but at the most launched a lawsuit against it the same way he has against all the other fake news media? He's never spoken about this clip the same way he's spoken about all the other fake, coronious, trumped up charges, because this one isn't fake. It's real, and he can't deny it because he was there in person. He was the one speaking, and he's spoken about that on multiple occasions. So has Howard Stern, and he was on his radio show multiple times. Stop being a goddamn cult member. You're embarrassing yourself.
Okay, can I ask my question now?
No, because I'm going to thank a couple of donors, all right? Because like I said, we need to catch up. Can you say W. Dylan?
No, I'm not.
Oh, for the $5, thank you so much for the love, Dylan. Can you say W. Courtney?
No.
No, for the $5, thank you so much, Courtney. Can you say W. Rihanna?
No.
Thank you for the $15, Rihanna. Let's show some love to Rihanna in that chat. I'm actually going to read Rihanna's message. She says, Dean, you need to rename the stream to 100 Men versus Accountability. That donation was sent by Rihanna literally 40 minutes ago, and the fact that it is so relevant in this very moment is fucking telling. Thank you for the $15, Rihanna. Can you say W. Noel?
No.
Please?
No.
No, W. Noel for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Let's show some love to Noel down below in that chat, as well as Christy. Thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Jacqueline with a 5. And David with a $25 over on Venmo, who says, very thankful for you. Thank you so much for the love. I'm thankful for you too. Thank you, David. Can you say W, David?
No.
Say W, David.
No.
Say W, David.
No.
What about W. Andrea for the $10 over on Venmo as well an hour ago? Thank you for the love, Andrea. Andrea asked me not to read her message out loud, so I won't. Can I get a W. Jeffrey for the $5?
No.
W Jeffrey for the $5. Thank you so much. What about a W Dakota for the $1? Oh, actually, we are all caught up over on all of the old donations over on Venmo. Let's go ahead and catch up on the new ones. Thank you so much, Jesse, for the $5 over on Venmo. Carson, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Who says W stream, we got the same mic. Thank you so much, Carson. Caroline, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. 8 minutes ago, says forgot to pay my cult dues the other day. Thank you so much for the love, Caroline. Morgan, 9 minutes ago with the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much. I'm actually going to read Morgan's message out. Just, keep in mind that this may be triggering to some, but I do want to read it. Morgan says, I was raped 15 years ago and never came forward. Men like this guess is the reason why I never did. And that is like an unfortunate fact of reality. When you victim blame, when you shift blame from the rapist to the victim, when you say it's a victim's fault, they're the bad person, they're the one launching the attack, right? That prevents victims from coming out, and that's what causes them to wait so long, including your critique of E. Jean Carroll for waiting 23 years. Big middle finger, buddy. I'm really sorry to hear that happened to you, Morgan, as well as I'd like to thank Tatum for the $5 and Clarissa with the 5 as well. We are all caught up over on Venmo. Thank you guys so much for all the love. I want to go ahead and catch up over on PayPal as well, just to make sure that we are all to date. Thank you so much, Kylie. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love. Show some love to Kylie. Can I get a W, Kylie, from you?
W Mason.
No, not W Mason, W Kylie.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Miguel, thank you for the $10 as well. Kylie, somebody that sent me $10. So is Miguel. Thank you for the $10, Miguel. Ellen, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Show some love to Ellen down below. Ellen says, 51-year-old grandma here. Thank you for speaking truth and sense about women in the face of shitty men like this. Well, I appreciate you for the $20, Ellen. This is not the first time you've been here. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for the $20. Let's get 200 Ellen W. Seriously, thank you so much for your kindness as well. Let's get 200 Natalie W's for the $20 on Venmo. Natalie says, Dean, my grandmother and I love you. She has now sent me a link to your stream every day. Dude, shout out to Natalie and Natalie's grandma. And holy fuck, shout out to Vesna, that is VESNA, for the $50 over on PayPal. What the fuck, Vesna? That is so incredibly kind of you. That is so much money. Gee, shit. Thank you so much, Vesna. Vesna with the $50 says, my husband is a DEI hire. He's a white veteran. Veterans and people with disabilities are also included in DEI. Thank you for educating the uneducated every single day. Love you. Love you too, Vesna. It's so good to see you again. You are always hanging out with us. And thank you so much for the $50, as well as Nicole for the $10 over on PayPal, as well as Nicole. I just read that. Yeah, Nicole just shared a message saying that she just got to the hospital last night. And if she didn't have Medicaid, then she would have died. Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that you have Medicaid, and I just feel so bad for the 10 million people that are losing it because of Trump. I'd also like to thank Serenity for the $10 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love. And look at that, guys. We're all caught up. If you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned message of the YouTube stream. Just know that I really do fucking appreciate you guys so much for all of your kindness, your love, and your generosity over there. It's just insane. Like it's just like the levels of love that you guys show is like inconceivable. Thank you so much for all of your kindness. But go ahead and take it away, man. Go ahead and respond to the last thing that I said, which I want to pick up on, is address the fact that you're a goddamn hypocrite. You said that you wouldn't support Trump if you knew he had done this thing. And I played you a clip of Trump admitting to doing this thing. Then you told us that you still support Trump. Your two critiques were first to say, well, maybe that clip was AI, right? Then I'm like, well, this was in 2005. AI didn't exist then. And then your second critique was to say, well, maybe it was an impersonator. No, it couldn't have been an impersonator. It was the Howard Stern show. That's not what Howard Stern does. They have real famous people on every single day to sit down and talk to them.
Okay.
So, okay, have you have
Can I ask you my question now?
Oh, so you actually don't have any other counter arguments. So then why are you a hypocrite?
No.
Okay. His brain is just broke. Why is your brain broke?
It's not.
Then you have to either accept the fact that you no longer support Trump because you said you would stop supporting Trump if you learned he had sexually exploited either naked teens or naked women by walking into their dressing rooms and looking at them while they're naked. Or you have to give an explanation insofar as why you support Trump even though you heard him admit to that. That wouldn't entail you being a hypocrite.
I guess it would, sure. I'm a hypocrite.
So you're a raging fucking hypocrite.
I'm a raging fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, you are. So what's the question you want to ask me?
What's your thoughts on pew-pews?
Well, I think that they should all be banned.
Really?
Yeah.
Every single one of them? Like no one should ever have one?
Yeah, do you have a counter argument?
I do. So drugs are banned, and people still have drugs. So you think banning pew-pews is going to eliminate all of them, which is not true. People still find illegal ways to get them.
No, they won't.
What do you mean, no, they won't?
They just won't.
Okay, then how do drugs keep getting into our country, even though it's illegal to have illicit drugs?
Oh, wait. Are you like trying to catch me in a contradiction here?
No, I'm just trying to.
Oh, wait, but
banning them does not make sense.
But like hypocrisy and contradictions in one's views, like seemingly don't matter to you.
Huh?
Like contradiction and like hypocrisy in one's view seemingly doesn't matter to you. So like, why are you trying to critique me for this? I don't need any reason in accordance like with your line of thought, in accordance with like your foundational like reasons, right, for the views that you hold to be the case. You can't speak negatively upon me for believing things for that reason. So therefore, my argument, in accordance with your own logic here, is that I think all guns should be banned, and I don't need to possess any reason for this. I just can, and that it's just as valid of a political opinion as your political opinions are that surround Donald Trump as president. And my proof is the last conversation we just had.
Okay, well, I'm just saying banning guns aren't going to do anything, so...
All right. Well, I mean, I honestly just wanted you to ask that question so then I could like point out that hypocrisy, and then I was going to kick you because you just admitted to being a raging hypocrite. Like, obviously, like having a political debate with somebody that admits to being a raging hypocrite is not going to go anywhere. Caroline, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Caroline. Let's get 200 Caroline W's down below. Caroline, I am gonna welcome in, man. I am gonna go and keep your message to myself, Caroline, just because of the nature of it. But I am really sorry to hear that happened to you. No one fucking deserves that. Thank you for the $20, Caroline. Thank you for your support. What is going on, Mr. New Guest? What the hell is your name? Thompson, 1985. Do you support Trump? Hello? Oh, MAGA Mobile. Step outside. Go into a different room. Turn your internet off. That MAGA Mobile's really kicking in. Yeah, I really want to talk to you. Because like it's like you're saying that you're like born in 1985 here. You'd be the oldest guest of the day. I'd like to talk to some older people. Oh, yeah, that one's just not going to work, unfortunately, chat. Do we have any older Trump supporters in here? Dude, we could still hear him. I kicked him like 30 seconds ago. Do we have any older Trump supporters in here? I want to talk to an older Trump supporter. Erica, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. Who says just got a root canal. Hello? Vanessa, hi, are you MAGA? That was a very obvious troll. Okay, yeah, we're going to look for an older Trump supporter right now. But Erica, seriously, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo, who says, just got a root canal, my recovery, Dean Withers. Erica, I hope that you recover all right. The root canals are kind of scary. Thank you for the $15, Erica. As well as Jeremy, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. And I actually want to read Jeremy's message here. Jeremy says, I was a Trump supporter, but after hearing the audio, I no longer support him. Some people can't keep their word, but I guess you got one less Trump supporter. Jeremy? That's how you were supposed to respond to hearing that clip. I'm proud of you, man. Thank you so much for being reasonable. Shout out to Jeremy. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
I do.
I asked for an older Trump supporter. How old are you?
I'm 43.
I got what I wanted. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Jesse, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo as well. Appreciate you for the love. Go ahead and take it away, man. Tell us why the hell you support Trump, who is the worst president of your 45 years of life.
Well, to be honest with you, I just support the Republican Party itself, and Trump's just a product of that. And the main reason behind it, I would say, is, well, I guess his policies regarding minorities and trans people, they commit violent crimes at a higher rate than the middle class American, and that's just something that's being ignored by the Democrats. And so I would say
in the last 40 years, there has been over 4,000 mass shootings. Out of those 4,000 mass shootings, how many of them were committed at the hands of a trans individual?
I guess you're saying that mass shooting is a violent crime. So that is, I understand that is a violent crime, but a larger percentage of them are I guess, enacted by trans and minority
Okay, well,
communities.
so we'll talk about like marginalized communities in America, like outside of trans individuals. I want to be able to cover that base too. But just to start with trans individuals, I just know that claim is false, right? So out of the over 4,000 mass shootings in America in the last 4 years, only 4 of them were committed by trans individuals. And they account for 1% of the population, less than 1% of mass shootings, meaning that they're actually disproportionately less likely when compared to cis individuals to commit violent crimes. Mass shootings. Would you have a source to demonstrate that when we're factoring in other violent crimes, that they're more likely to than cis individuals?
I guess media coverage itself is just maybe what I'm referring to because I see it in the media a lot more.
No,
However,
I don't even believe that. I don't even believe that. Like, I don't even think Fox News talks more about trans people committing crimes than cis people committing crimes.
Well, I would
think about all their bigoted propaganda surrounding like undocumented immigrants. Look at this undocumented immigrant that's committing this crime. Chances are they're cis.
Okay, that I guess you're making sense there, but Fox News, every time I see a school shooting, not every time, but a lot of the times, it seems that whenever these especially in the schools, whenever they're happening, it seems to be with younger individuals that identify as non-cisgender.
Like what? Like, give me an example.
The one of the more recent ones, I can't remember the name of it, but it happened near the time of the Charlie Kirk shooting.
Oh yeah, so they were actually detransitioned. They weren't trans.
Oh, the detransition meaning formerly transitioned.
So yeah, they were cis. They were never trans. Maybe they thought that they were trans, but they weren't trans. I mean, they wrote about this. They wrote about this in their book. They were cis.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know formally transitioned. That's something I was not aware of. So I appreciate you educating me on that.
Because the headline was, "Oh, look at this trans shooter," right? But then, like, once we actually like got a hold of like the memoir, the diary from this person, they talked about how they actually weren't trans. They detransitioned.
Oh, well, that's something I was not educated about. I appreciate that. Yeah. I guess the other thing that I was mentioning is. We have a demographic, and I by no means identify myself as a racist. I served in the military, and I
have a demographic.
Yes, that's this demographic of 13% of our population that's committing over half of near half of the violent crimes now. What is your opinion on that? And what's why
my
is that being
opinion is that is a racist dog whistle. So you just said, and you actually misquoted. Right. You actually just misquoted the racist dog whistle. So it is not that 13% of our population, Black Americans, are committing over 50% of crimes in this country. It's that 13% of this population, Black Americans, are arrested for 50% of the violent crimes in this country.
And I've heard that argument many times.
And then guess what? Even when we then account for exonerations, did you know that Black individuals in this country account for 80% of all exonerations through the criminal justice system, and 87% of the exonerations specifically for violent crimes? On top of that, right, neighborhoods that are disproportionately more likely to be Black are over-policed by local law enforcement agencies because of the socioeconomic discrepancies that exist in this country and the basis of race onset by slavery and its aftermath, leading to the average white American having higher net worth and more generational wealth on average compared to the average Black American with a lower net worth and less generational wealth on average, which leads to then Black Americans on average living in areas with lower socioeconomic standards on average, which then leads to a higher level of police presence on average. So when we account for the widely disproportionate amount of exonerations for Black individuals, 13% of the population accounts for over 80% of the exonerations in our criminal justice system, and the over-policing disproportionate to areas that are more so Black compared to areas that are more so white. I think that the fact becomes clear that this is just a racist talking point that is one-dimensional, ignores nuance, and attempts to monger fear against Black individuals in this country, the same way white individuals have been attempting to do that for the last 400 years. I think that these racist talking points are getting really damn old.
I agree. I would agree with your observation, and I know that there's statistics that are backing up that these communities are over-policed. And as somebody who has a degree in criminology, I would agree with you that
can I bring up another point?
Yes, sir.
Right, you're over here trying to shit on black people because you think they're more likely to commit a violent crime. You know who actually has? Trump, and you support him as president. How liable for raping a woman? What do you have to say about that? Oh, all of a sudden, violent crime doesn't matter as long as it's committed by a billionaire white guy. Shit, make him president, right?
If I'm being honest with you, I just wanted to talk about this specific policy that is, in my opinion, or not policy, this specific, I guess, talking point that is argued amongst the two parties.
Right, right. I know. Because if you just like open the scope,
I do think Trump is a criminal.
If you open the scope at all, you're like actively supporting a felon as president, actively supporting a rapist as president, actively supporting somebody who pardoned 72 people that tried to kill cops on the steps of the Capitol on J6 and called them patriots as president, actively supporting this person that is civil adjudication in New York for lying about the valuation of his properties, defrauded his own university, defrauded his own charities, intentionally concealed classified documents as his property in Mar-a-Lago, was best friends with Epstein and is now calling it an act of hostility against the administration to vote for the full release of the Epstein files in Congress, right? If you start considering that, then it becomes like incredibly interesting, right? That you ignore that, but then dedicate all of your attention and focus towards the racist fake lie that 13% of our population, black people, account for over 50% of the crimes.
So I would agree with you on that. I think Trump is definitely a criminal, and I think that if his victims had the same funding to defend themselves as he did, or to prosecute him as he did to defend himself, that he'd be a man in prison right now. But that's just not the case. And I agree that he should be in prison. I agree that he's a rapist, and I agree that he's a violent criminal.
Okay,
However,
so then why do you support him as president?
To be honest with you, I don't think he's the best option.
All right, perfect. Well, we're just debating people that support him as president. Hey, what's up? How many continents are there? No clue? Okay. Well, then it makes sense why you're spamming WGuest in the chat. I didn't kick him. He left. Yeah. You're spamming WGuest in the chat. I just thought I'd have him up here and ask him that real quick. like what? Dude, what are we doing? Yeah, I mean, really shows you. Yeah. Well, like, shit. Their claim is 13% of the population commits 50% of the crimes, regardless of nuance. They're all going to go WWW, right? Well, it looks like 95% of the population does 100% of the research. At 5% remaining that does 0% of the research would be the people spamming WGuest in the chat right now. But let's go ahead and get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live right now. If you want to support me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love, Michael. Michael with the $20 says also a
nigger.
With the $20 on Super Chat says also a dental work done this morning. A root canal tooth had to be pulled and it took a while. Listening to Dean wipe the floor with MAGA definitely helps ease the pain. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm actually I hate dental work so much. I hate dental work literally so much, which probably explains why my teeth are still fucked up. Probably need to go to the dentist myself. Thank you so much for the love, Michael. Show some love to Michael down below in that chat while we're looking for that next Trump supporter to come up here and have a conversation with us. All right. By the way, for all the reasonable humans out there on the left, whenever you're having a debate with a Trump supporter about the predominance of anti-black racism, about the predominance of anti-black racism in America and in the world at large, let your evidence include this stream. Right? It's like the Trump supporters, they'll come up here, they'll start screaming the N-word, right? Because they think that, they're going to rage bait the liberal. Meanwhile, it just proves everything that the left says about the right to be true. It just reaffirms that the left has been right all along. Welcome in. How old are you?
I'm 23.
All right, I don't believe that. Go ahead and hop in that queue, and only if you are an American adult that is pro-Trump, we'll happily get you loaded up in. We got Jess connecting right now. Yeah, I wanted to talk to him about the profile picture, but I think he was a troll. Sam, thank you so much for the $30 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Sam. Sam with the 30. Let's get 300, Sam W. Seriously, that is so incredibly kind of you. Says, I'm losing brain cells listening to these MAGA people, quote unquote, defend their opinions, but gaining brain cells listening to your rebuttal. Thank you so much for your kind words, Sam. Show some love to Sam. As well as Sage, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, love your lives, 14. Thank you so much, Sage. And then Ellie, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Show some love to Ellie down below in that chat while we're still looking for that next Trump supporter. Ellie says, sorry that you have to deal with all these dumb MAGA supporters. I've been watching your live to help educate myself, even being liberal. I'm glad that you come out here every day speaking facts to these idiots. Cook these Trump supporters. Thank you so much for your kind, thought-out words, Ellie, alongside the $20 donation. And don't worry, your donation is going to be going to a great place this evening. My girlfriend doesn't even know this yet, but the reason why I went live early today is because tonight I'm going to take her out on a nice evening date. I haven't been able to do that.
Hello?
I haven't been able to do that for her in a very, very long time. Like an evening date, because I'm always like going live at night. You know, I'm getting off of these streams at like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. And, you know, I started to kind of hear from her, you know, like,
Get the dirty dishes.
wish we would go on the, you know, one of those evening dates. So that's what we're going to be doing on this fine, fine evening. Let's go ahead and get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the stream right now. Once again, thank you so much, Ellie. It means the world. As well as CJ, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Saying W. Dean, appreciate you for that love, CJ. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
No.
All right. I'm going to remove you. No worries. Just make sure that you're in that queue, even only if you do indeed support Trump as president. We'll get you up here. We got our next guest, Steve, loading in. As well as Sergio. Thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. 8 minutes ago, who says, thank you for your tireless efforts to help educate these misguided souls. I love what we do here so much. I think it's beneficial. I think it works. And I just like advocating for people to be smarter. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for the $15. Let's get 150 Sergio W's. Thank you so much for your kindness. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Absolutely.
Oh, Steve, man, you don't mind me asking. You don't got to answer. You don't got to answer. I don't know like what age it becomes disrespectful to ask somebody's age. But how old are you?
I'm 58 years old, born 1967.
Okay. All right, Steve.
Go ahead, ask me an 80s band if you want.
Steve, you don't got to prove anything to us, sir. You know, I believe you. I'm even whipping out the word sir. Look at me. Jesus Christ. No. Yeah, you're 58. You're 58. Don't worry about it. Let me thank 3 more people here. Then I'm going to pass you the mic. You could tell us why you support Trump as president.
Acknowledge all of that, okay? But liberals have had control for quite a long time. And to be honest with you, the country has not gotten any better at all whatsoever. You can throw out all your numbers and stats and
ways is he radical and aggressive that are super good for America.
Well, and everything. I mean, he did not when the first term he was discussing how he wanted to change immigration and go after the illegals and all that, but it didn't get as radical as he did this time with the ICE going on the street.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. So if we militarize our cities, if we give the Department of War the directive to use our cities as quote-unquote training grounds for the military, as Donald Trump said to Seth publicly, and if we illegally deport people like Abrigo Garcia to be beaten, starved, and tortured for months in Sica in El Salvador, and illegally deport Venezuelan immigrants without due process, then have SCOTUS tell us that we can't do it, and illegally detain legal immigrants like Mahmoud Khalil for 3 months, even though he's a green card holder, a nice detention center, then everything's going to get better, right? Right, Steve?
Yeah, actually it is. You want me to tell you why, or are you going to cut me off again?
Well, so when we break the law, things get better. So then why the hell are you condemning undocumented
How good was it working when Obama was doing it?
Well, and Obama didn't deport anybody without due process. Obama didn't send people to a center for terrorists in El Salvador, and Obama created work programs so undocumented immigrants without criminal offenses could get a work permit.
Exactly, he didn't. You're right.
And that was great.
And how did
right?
immigration work?
And then what we see on the other hand here with Trump is raging fucking fascist authoritarian. Let's infringe on the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, deploy the National Guard in cities without any reason, then have 3 federal judges rule against us.
Well, there's reason.
Well, I mean, according to the Federal Appeals Court, there wasn't.
How about throwing Molotov cocktails at federal agents and throwing car bombs and rocks and bricks through federal agent cars and buildings? Call that no reason?
Well, I mean, Donald Trump calls the people that do that patriots. I mean, those are the people that broke into the Capitol. No, let me speak. Smeared shit on the wall, right? Took metal pipes, beat cops over the back, tried to get their gun to kill them. And then, one of them named DJ Rodriguez got an Officer Fanone's stun gun, drove it into his neck, gave him a heart attack. You know what Donald Trump responded to that by? Not like by deploying the National Guard on DJ Rodriguez, but by letting him out of jail 8 years early and calling him a patriot. Can you recognize you're in power hypocrisy, sir? Because in one breath, I guess, we got to condemn this mutiny. This is an insurrection against the government. But when you have a bunch of Trump supporters doing it on the steps and within the capital of this country, all of a sudden they're patriots.
Why do you always to fit your narrative? Like yesterday, we were watching live with you about the little meeting when the cabinet was. What was that you were watching? I forget when they were talking about. There was a quote that you really stuck on where you said the president gave them directive to shoot and kill illegals on the streets of America. Remember, you said that.
I think that you're talking about what Kristi Noem said.
No, but you quoted it. But that's not what she said. She said that she was directed by the president to hunt and kill terrorists. She never once said on the streets of America. You said that. Go back. I got the video. You could go back and look at it. Check it.
I have a question. What department does Kristi Noem run?
She's in she's in Homeland Security, isn't she?
Yeah.
So what's your point?
Homeland Security. DHS works domestically.
You don't think Homeland Security goes after terrorists outside the streets of America?
That's Hegseth's role. Hegseth.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that the point I'm making
is DHS operates domestically. Now, like the military, they can run like a national operation.
Never came out of her mouth. You said that.
Okay, well, I think now you're either misquoting me or you're misquoting Kristi Noem.
Oh no, check yourself.
If you go back and you rewatch the beginning of the stream yesterday, anybody is available to do this, right? She said that Donald Trump gave her a directive just to shoot and kill people. And I'm like, what? Why did she say that Donald Trump gave her a directive to shoot and kill people?
But did we not do that with Osama bin Laden? Did we not hunt him down and shoot him and kill him?
Yeah, no, DHS didn't do that. No, that was the military. That was SEAL Team 6. Was SEAL Team 6 a part of DHS?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Exactly my point. It does matter because of who said it. It does matter because of who said it. If Hegseth said this, right?
So
one second, Steve. Just allow me to speak here, Steve. If Hegseth said this, and this was if Hegseth said this, and this was in reference to like taking out the boats in the Caribbean, that would have been one thing. But the fact that it's Kristi Noem, well, I disagree. But the fact that it's Kristi Noem, right, the leader of the Department of Homeland Security, not the military that's saying this, makes it even worse. But matter of fact, I think it's funny that you're now using this as an attempt to pivot and completely change the topic of conversation. Because on the last topic, you were getting absolutely cooked, so you try to find an out. Matter of fact, Steve, I'd like if you could.
Topic, Steve?
Oh, yeah, it's where you brought up that Donald Trump is deploying the military in these cities because people are
rioting, you brought that up.
Molotov cocktails and car bombing. No, that's what you said.
No, you brought that up,
Steve,
and that's why I said that's why he's doing it.
Right. And then I said in response to that, well, I mean, the only individuals that I really know who were doing that were the rioters at the Capitol on January 6th that Donald Trump called patriots.
So you're saying that Democrats never protest with riots and violence?
No, I'm saying that they're not doing that, and they haven't been doing that in cities like Portland, where Donald Trump has been attempting to illegally declare and deploy the National Guard in reference to the context of the conversation we're having.
But actually, it's not illegal. He has the right to do that. That's why he does it.
I mean, according to particular federal courts, that's not true. In fact,
why does he get away with doing it?
Well, actually, he's not. They're still withstanding TKO order forbidding.
Did he do it in California? I live in California. Did he do it in California?
Well, you got to completely change the topic of the conversation to something that happened 4 months ago in order to win a debate. The facts of this debate matter. A federal judge in Portland ruled withstanding TKO order forbidding Trump's ability to deploy the National Guard within the city because under the 10th Amendment, she doesn't think that he has sufficient reason to do so, thereby forbidding it. That is a withstanding TKO order. So instead of pivoting to a place where there was not a withstanding TKO order forbidding Donald Trump from deploying the National Guard, actually respond to the substance of the conversation and ensure that you're also addressing the hypocrisy that I'm pointing out to you, which is the fact, oh, well, maybe if people are rioting in California, we need to deploy the National Guard. But when people are rioting, right, on the steps of the American Capitol, we need to call them patriots and let them out of jail.
When Black Lives Matter riots were going on, was the National Guard called?
I don't know. Ask Trump. The president who was serving in this country when the BLM riots were occurring.
But you didn't have a problem when that happened, right?
No, I absolutely do have a problem with the destruction of property. I have a problem with like beating people up in the streets. But you have a problem with not pivoting, because for the last time I've repeated this 5 times and you cannot respond to it. Why is it the case that when people riot in California, you think that the National Guard should be brought in to haul the quote unquote criminals away? But then when there's a riot on the steps of our Capitol, when people are smearing shit on the walls, when our congressmen and women are escaping an underground...
Went to jail.
Oh, and then they were let out 4 years later by Trump.
Okay, but that's a different thing. But they went to jail. I have no problem with that.
Oh, how do you feel? Do you have a problem with Donald Trump calling them patriots and letting them out of jail?
No, I mean, yeah, I do. But same thing with Biden pardoning his son.
Oh, I don't think
you have a problem with that.
I don't think that Biden pardoning Hunter Biden for a non-violent criminal offense.
Here we go. Here we go. So you're fine with that then, right?
I actually am. I don't care about that because it was a non-violent criminal offense with no real repercussions that was only alleged onto Hunter Biden because he was the son of Biden. Dude, like even Charlie Kirk agreed with this take. I'm not giving you some crazy far leftist take. Literally, even Charlie Kirk said that he had no problem with Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter Biden, right? But obviously, there's a huge difference between a pardon for a non-violent criminal offense and a pardon for a violent criminal offense. Even in this conversation that I'm having with you about Trump, I'm not bringing up his pardon of George Santos. Like, I'm specifically asking you about his pardon of the violent rioters that tried to kill cops on the steps of our Capitol on January 6th. How can you say that Donald Trump is pro-law and order? How can you say that Donald Trump wants to lock the criminals up when he's actively letting the violent ones that tried to kill our law enforcement officers out of jail 8 years early, labeling them as patriots while being a 34-count felon adjudicated rapist himself? That, sir, is what I want you to respond to.
Okay, I will. You're saying that Trump is a violent criminal? Is that what you're saying? His 34 counts of felony, are they violent crimes or non-violent crimes?
No, those are non-violent crimes. So he's a criminal because of the non-violent 34 felonies, and he's violent because of the adjudication of the rape of V. Jean Carroll. Violent criminal.
No, let me see. You don't let nobody finish. Do you ever let somebody finish without cutting them off?
Well, listen, I'll let you finish about as many times as you've made your wife finish in the last 25 years. All right, that was too far. That was too far. No, I take it back. That was too far.
If you want to start insulting, I can start insulting.
No, that was too far. That was too far. I'm sorry. We'll get back to the productive debate.
I'll let the 21-year-old kid get that one. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's a deserved comment. That's a deserved comment. That's a deserved. Go ahead.
Are those 34 counts violent or non-violent?
They were non-violent.
Okay, and his grape charge, was that a violent or non-violent one?
Yeah, rape is violent.
No. The one he first of all, he was not convicted. Was he convicted of grape?
He was found guilty of it.
No. Was he convicted of grape?
When you say convicted,
answer the question.
When you say convicted, do you mean found guilty in a criminal court?
Yes.
No, because he was found guilty in a civil court.
So was it a criminal? Was it a violent criminal act?
So yeah, I think that rape is a violent criminal act.
No, not what you think. I'm saying technically, was it or was it not?
I will never say that rape is not a violent criminal act. What about
you're telling me? Let me ask you this.
One second. Can you answer that question?
I don't want to get you in trouble.
One second.
TikTok.
Is rape a violent criminal act?
That's what I'm going to right now.
Can I just get a yes or no? Is rape violent? Let's just start there. Is rape violent?
A physical grape with non-consenting? Yes, it is.
Okay, that's where I'm getting violent criminal from. He was held liable in a civil court for something that's incredibly violent, and he was convicted of 34 felonies. I just want to make my position clear. The reason why I call Trump
sexual harassment grape?
Is sexual harassment rape? No. Sexual harassment is not rape.
Exactly. But, okay, so grabbing a woman's ass at work, is that a violent act of grape?
That's not even
answer the question, Dean.
So sexual, if you'll allow me to finish speaking, what you just described is not sexual harassment. That would be sexual abuse.
Okay, is that a violent act of grape?
Is like grabbing somebody's ass,
like grabbing a woman and tying her down and beating her and raping her? Is that the same thing as grabbing a woman's ass at work?
I'd say that they both categorically fall under the same category of like violent sexual abuse that should not be condoned or allowed in American society at large, right? But I mean, maybe we need to clarify, right? Like what Donald Trump was found to have done.
Exactly, that's what you need to do. Because
he didn't grab E. Jean Carroll's ass, right? right? He raped her by forcefully inserting his fingers into her female member against her will.
Well, that was never. See, again, this is alleged. I was never convicted of that.
Yeah, that's what the jury determined he did.
If that no, but not in a criminal. If the jury determined he did that in a court of law, he would have been in jail.
No, because civil courts have juries, and civil courts don't send people to jail.
Right. I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about civil court, and you're talking about criminal court.
Right. So he was found guilty for this in a civil court.
There's no such thing in civil court. You cannot have a criminal. You cannot be convicted of a criminal, a violent act. That would be in a criminal court.
Okay, Captain Obvious. Civil courts are not criminal courts. Criminal courts are not civil courts.
Right. So what I'm saying is, would you admit that liberals always say that about Trump, that he's a felon, 34 count felon, but he's not. Basically, a tax evasion. Would you consider that as a freaking act? I mean, a violent act?
Okay, we need to slow down here. Is that okay, Steve?
I'm slow. You're the one that's getting excited.
We just need to be able to dissect this dialogue and be like more specific with what we're saying here and more intentional about the words that we're saying. Okay?
And again,
right?
I agree.
So can you let me speak, Steve?
I get that.
So I want to clarify once again. I call Donald Trump a violent criminal because he's violent, right? As he was held civilly liable for the rape of E. Jean Carroll. He's violent because he boasted about sexually exploiting naked girls and or naked women to Howard Stern. Okay? He's violent. Why are you laughing at that? Yes.
That is not violent. Talking about
sexually exploiting little girls isn't violent, Steve?
He never admitted to that. Oh my God.
Yes,
dude,
he
you
did.
Need to really,
Would you like to hear him admit to that?
Yes, please. Let me hear it.
Okay. Well, I want you to actually go ahead and put your money where your mouth is. If I can convince you that this is something he's done, would you still support him as president?
Absolutely, 100%.
So you'd still support him as president
So
even if he sexually
yeah.
exploited little girls?
He never sexually exploited
No, I'm saying if he sexually exploited little girls and or adult women, would you still support him as president?
If he was proven of that, no, I would not.
That's the question I was asking you, Steve.
Well, he's never been proven of that.
You're not even like listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. If, right, Donald Trump sexually exploited little girls and or adult women, you would not support him as president, correct, Steve?
Correct.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and keylog the moment you said that in my stream on YouTube, so then I could go back to it.
He's never been proven of that.
You're not even like listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Let me just get this down. Right, Donald Trump. Perfect. Okay, got the timestamp. Dude, you're not even like listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay, so I just got the timestamp on my YouTube stream where you are saying, right, very clearly that you would stop supporting Trump, right, if it was proven that he sexually exploited little girls and or adult women. All right? So next step, let's define sexual exploitation. I'm going to offer up my definition of sexual exploitation, and I want to see if you agree or disagree, okay? I define sexual exploitation as the abuse of a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes.
Are you waiting for me to respond?
Yeah, like, do you agree? Do you disagree? Where are we at?
I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's part of it, yeah.
Okay, so as long as you agree that's part of it, I think for the intents and purposes of our discussion here, that's enough. All right. So in other words,
I know you were going with this. So in other words,
just listen to me. Just listen to me. So in other words,
I've heard this clip.
So in other words, if I could prove that Donald Trump has abused
I've heard
a position,
this clip, it's still not going to prove it to me.
So if I could prove that Donald Trump has abused a position of vulnerability, if I could prove that Donald Trump has abused a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes, dude, Steve, I'm going to mute you. Stop, dude. Earlier, you were like chastising me for being 21 and acting 21. Now you're 58, acting 14. Let me finish speaking here. All right. So if I could prove that Donald Trump has abused a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes, then you would stop supporting Donald Trump per your own admission. So I believe that Donald Trump admitted to this. He admitted to sexual exploitation when he went on Howard Stern's podcast and he told Howard Stern, right, that at Miss Teen USA, at Miss USA, right, he would walk backstage into the changing rooms of the contestants where there was no men around while they're naked with no clothes on to look at them. right? And that he would get away with this. I believe that this fulfills the definition of sexual exploitation, as he is abusing, right, his position as the owner of the pageant, right, to then walk backstage into these dressing rooms by allowing himself in, right, then taking advantage of the position of vulnerability that the women and or girls are in inside of that space, as they are vulnerable per the fact that they are naked and undressed in a space where they think only women will be. Let's go ahead and now listen to Donald Trump admitting that.
Only women will be, but go ahead.
And that's going to be my argument.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
That is sexual exploitation, Steve.
Negative. First of all, they weren't minors. They were adult women. Second of all, that's because you said of little girls. You said it 3 times. Little girls. Those are not little girls. Miss USA pageant are all over 18. Yes or no?
Miss USA is over 18. Miss Teen USA is not. I believe that he did this at both per the testimony.
Okay, so that's your opinion. We're talking facts here, buddy.
All right. Well, if you want me to just frame it differently, I believe it's a fact that he did it at both, right? Because
but to answer your question, no, I do not believe that's sexual exploitation.
Okay.
It might be perverted, but it might be wrong for me and you, but that's still not sex. No, sorry, you don't get that one.
Okay, why not?
Because I don't agree with you. You look at it one way, I look at it as if he was 27, I think, at that time when he did that.
He was not 27 in the 90s.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. It was we're talking, what, freaking 40 years ago?
Yeah, when he was 40 or 50 or 60. Your age.
No. Dude, if he was 60, he would be 100. At 40 years, he'd be 100 and something right now. Come on, you were better at the math than that, right?
Well, because it wasn't 40 years ago. Was the 90s 40 years ago? Was it early 2000s 40 years ago? Fucking idiot.
Okay, 35 years, 36 years ago?
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, you would be like 100. Well, it's because it wasn't 40 years ago. Jesus Christ, Steve.
Okay.
Talk about Harry
We'll leave that one away.
No,
alone.
we could talk about Harry Sisson. I'm down to have that conversation with you, but I'm not down to have that conversation with you as a pivot away from this. So once again, I believe that this is sexual exploitation. The reason I believe this is sexual exploitation is because once again, the definition that you already agreed to was the abuse of a position of vulnerability. Question for you, sir. Was he abusing the fact that these women felt vulnerable enough to get undressed and take their clothes off in the women's only space as a way to sexually gratify himself by walking back there and looking at them while they had no clothes on?
No.
Wait, he wasn't abusing that position of vulnerability?
Well, I mean, he abused the position. I mean,
so he was. So he was abusing his position of power by walking in there, allowing himself as the owner, and he was abusing their position of vulnerability, feeling comfortable enough to take their clothes off because they were in a woman's only space, thereby fulfilling because it was. There was no men around. That's what a woman's dressing room is, a woman's only space.
Really? You ever been backstage at a fashion show?
Well, I mean, he was. Obviously, he admitted to it.
Have you ever been backstage at Victoria's Secret?
Hey, I would really appreciate it if you'd allow me to finish speaking before you interrupt me with your very sick laughs. So who has been backstage at one of these beauty contestant pageants was Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, when he'd walk back there was no men around. He said that in the clip, you idiot, you fucking idiot, you idiot. He said that in the clip, Steve. You look fucking, you're making a fool of yourself.
Sure I am, buddy.
Yeah, so what now? You just said, there was men around. Have you ever been backstage before? Donald Trump said that there wasn't.
You asked me if I agree with you. I said no.
Oh, but you agree without any reason because you are a fucking spineless cult member.
Reason.
Oh, then give the reason. Clarify the reason. You agreed that he was abusing his position of power. You agreed he was abusing their position of vulnerability. That, sir, would fulfill the definition of sexual exploitation that you agreed to.
Negative.
How so?
Because it's not.
Oh, because it's not? Didn't you agree that sexual exploitation would include abusing the position of vulnerability or power or trust for sexual purposes? You agreed to that, right?
I would say he's a pervert.
Wait, no, you're not answering my question, Steve. Once again, you did agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would include the abuse of a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes, correct?
Oh my God, how many times are you going to read that?
Oh, I'm going to read it as many times as it takes to get you to answer the damn question, old man. So once again, did you agree that sexual exploitation wouldn't...
No, what part of no do you not understand?
Earlier you told me yes. Earlier you told me yes. Are you stupid?
I don't agree. No, I don't agree.
Yes, you said that the definition of sexual exploitation would include this.
No, okay, well, I changed my mind. I disagree
with
that.
You changed your mind now that you realize that if you would agree with the original definition, then this would be classifying Trump as a sexual exploiter. Now I want you to give me your definition of sexual exploitation. What is it?
Are we going to talk about supporting Trump or not?
Yeah, we're going to talk about your hypocrisy and your support for like literal sexual exploitation. You said that sexual exploitation is not and does not include. Hey, Steve.
For cancer, and you still would not.
Hey, Steve, sit down. Seriously, sit down. You just told me that sexual exploitation would not include the abuse of a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes.
Why is that so important to you? It's kind of weird.
Because I'm making a point that you're running away from. So once again, because you disagree.
All right. So he's all right. What do you want to hear? He's a pervert. He likes looking at young women naked. Like 99% of men in this country or in the world, for that matter. Go ahead. What else do you want to hear?
Oh, you just made an admission.
What? That 99% of the men don't want to look at naked women? You're an idiot. Go ahead. Let me say you're gonna flip that one. Flip it, Dean. Go ahead.
So you think that you like to do what Trump admitted to in that clip?
I said, see, there you say you are so good at flipping word. I said that 99% of the men in this world like looking at naked women.
Right, and you're saying that all Donald Trump admitted to in that clip was that he
would you not agree to that?
So
you don't look.
So
you don't like.
So I just want to clarify, Steve.
Answer the question, Dean.
Hey, Steve, I'm getting very close to kicking you because you're incapable.
Go ahead. You think I give a fuck?
Well, I mean, you gave a fuck enough to join the guest request.
Exactly, but I don't think I don't give a shit.
Now I'm gonna go
just
ahead.
one of the other million that you kick. Who cares?
I'm gonna go ahead and finish speaking here, Steve. So I just want to clarify.
And then kick me? That sounds really mature.
I think that you were being intentionally dense. Okay, Donald Trump didn't go on Howard Stern's podcast and say, "Oh, I don't know, I kind of like looking at like my naked wife."
He wasn't thinking about being president either when he did that.
I'm gonna need you to stop talking, Steve.
Kick me.
So you are now telling me that in order for me to be able to speak, I'll have to kick you? Why can't you just control yourself?
You don't let me speak. You don't let me speak.
How about I let you speak and you let me speak?
Go ahead.
You know what? Somebody in my YouTube chat just said, why does Dean always have to be so insulting? It doesn't accomplish anything. Well, fuck you, Sean. I'll insult you too, just like I'll insult anybody who will come into this live and come into this space and actively defend sexual perversion and sexual exploitation. And if that's not something,
I do have a serious question.
One second, you're still interrupting me, Steve. And quite frankly,
no, I know, but I really want to ask you something personal.
No, dude, stop interrupting me. What the fuck is your deal?
Go ahead. I don't want you crying. Go ahead.
I'm not crying. I'm just simply losing my patience.
Go ahead. I've told you 3 times. Go ahead.
Okay. So once again, Sean, just back to you in the comment section. If you don't like that fact about me, Sean, stop watching the stream, okay? Go hang out with some other live streamer that is just totally chill with the sexual exploitation of little girls and women. That's where you belong, Sean, not here if you're going to get mad at me for voicing frustration and being insulting against somebody that is. All right, Sean? Go leave now. I
insult you once, but go ahead.
I didn't say Steve. I said Sean, some commenter on my YouTube. Now, I would like to continue. Here's where we are at in the debate, okay? You told us that if Donald Trump had like sexually exploited, right, naked girls and or naked women, that you would no longer support him as president. Okay, I then went on to prove that Donald Trump has sexually exploited naked girls and or naked adult women. The first step of that process, Steve, stop it. The first step of that process was for us to define sexual exploitation, okay? I went on to define sexual exploitation as the abuse of a position of vulnerability, power, or trust for sexual purposes. I then asked you if you agree with this definition, and you said, yeah, I think that would be included in the definition of sexual exploitation. Okay? I then played you that clip of Donald Trump admitting to going backstage before these beauty contestant shows into the women's only space with no men around, into the women's dressing rooms to look at them while they were naked with no clothes on. And I described to you how that's him abusing his position of power as the owner of that pageant to allow himself in, and then abusing the position of vulnerability that those women and or girls would be in, where they feel vulnerable and comfortable enough to take their clothes off, right? Because there's only women around. And obviously, therefore, Donald Trump would be taking advantage of that fact when unconsensually looking at their naked bodies. And then I concluded by reasonably arguing that this would fulfill that definition of sexual exploitation that we agreed to. You then responded by saying, Dean, I still don't think it's sexual exploitation. I then responded by saying, well, Steve, the definition of sexual exploitation that you agreed to is clearly present within the actions that Donald Trump described in that clip. And then you said, well, I just disagree with that definition of sexual exploitation. I've changed my mind. I believe in another definition of sexual exploitation. And then I asked you to please define your definition of sexual exploitation so we could work our way around this disagreement. And then you started talking about Harry Sisson. So I want to go back to that question without a pivot this time. Please give us your definition of sexual exploitation that makes it clear that Donald Trump did not sexually exploit these naked women and naked girls that he looked at unconsensually while they were naked in a woman's only space, abusing his position of power to get into in the first place.
My turn?
Yeah, just define sexual exploitation. That's the question.
Well, you want sex, but okay, first of all, to exploit something is to gain something out of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was already the owner of that whole pageant thing, correct?
Yeah.
So he's not, by going back there and looking at or seeing these women naked, he wasn't exploiting them to gain something financial or gain something at all. He was doing it out of basically as a man looking at naked women being perverted about it.
He was gaining something sexual out of it. That's why it's called sexual exploitation. Exactly.
Right.
That's why it's called sexual exploitation. It's not financial exploitation. It's not business exploitation. It's sexual. It's sexual exploitation.
He doesn't let you finish. Look, go ahead.
It wasn't gaining something financial out of it because it wasn't financial exploitation. He was getting something sexual out of it. That's why it's sexual exploitation.
Right. But what I'm saying is that you make, okay, let's say, okay, for now, let's say that you're right. He got something sexual out of it, right? Are you telling me that you have never looked at a woman and got something sexual out of it?
Oh my God, Steve. This is just getting insane at this point. Yeah, I have looked at a woman and gained something sexual out of it. But the reason why it wasn't sexual exploitation...
With her permission?
It was with her permission and it was consensual.
Right. But what I'm asking you, you've never looked at a woman that she didn't know about?
I've never looked at a woman
maybe in a
consensually, and gained sexual gratification out of it. Like I've never.
Can I ask you something personal, Dean? Are you consider yourself a content creator or a political activist? No, I'm being serious.
Before I answer that question, I want you to give us your definition of sexual exploitation. Why are you refusing?
I didn't. My whole thing about Trump and Republican is not about sexual exploitation.
Ali, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Ali with the $20 says enjoy date night. Thank you so much for the $20, Ali. Let's get 200 Ali W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much for the love, Ali. Thank you so much for the love. Let's show some love to Ali down below. As well as Megan, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Megan with the $15 says thank you for never playing nice with rapists and predators. I appreciate you for the love, Megan. Show some love to Megan and Ali down below in that comment section. Thank you both so very much. As well as Kelsey, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Savannah with the $5 on Venmo. Amanda with the $10 saying ask him if he were to care for his daughters/granddaughters at their own dance recital and the male owner was allowed to go back and look at them while they were naked. Would they have been sexually exploited? Do you want to go ahead and answer that question real quick?
First of all, they're not little girls like she's saying.
Yeah, well, we had a 17-year-old testify that this happened to her and people as young as 15. But, I mean, in the original question, I said to little girls and or adult women, so that doesn't change anything. Answer Amanda's question, old man.
You said little girls.
Answer Amanda's question, old man.
Are you going to start crying, Dean?
No, I'm just going to ask you to answer a question. It's pretty simple.
I just did.
No, you didn't.
I said it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, so your answer to the question is to not answer it. Well, thank you so much for the $10, Amanda. As well as Jeremy, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo as well. B, thank you for the $5. Kiana, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much for the love, Kiana. Savannah, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Fuck you, Steve. Shut up while I'm thanking my donors. Be quiet. Be quiet. Savannah with the $10 says, been watching.
Give him money. That's what he does this for. Give him money.
Oh, are you? Oh, wow. So our conversation about sexually exploiting women and girls didn't upset you.
You're exploiting all your listeners for money.
Wait, I'm exploiting them for money? How so, Steve?
Look at them, all giving you money for what?
Wait, actually, if you want to give me money, guys, so my Venmo, my PayPal are right there. You could also find them in the link tree in my bio. Like, literally, you just click a button, then go over to it. Or you could find it in the pinned message of the YouTube stream. So you just said, like, I'm exploiting them for money.
You're a content creator.
You said that I'm Jessica, thank you so much for allowing me to exploit you for the $20 over on PayPal, saying these white men love using women's bodies and black people's talking points for their arguments, but they don't have empathy for the victims. Thank you for the $20, Jessica. Thank you so much. As well as Georgia, thank you so much for the $4 over on PayPal, saying Guest is a pig. He needs to be investigated. Guest is definitely a pig. Thank you for the $4. As well as Sharon Main, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Sharon Main. And Sarah, thank you so much for the $22 over on PayPal. Sarah with the $22 says, watching your lives every night from Portugal. You are amazing. Thank you for all your great work. Thank you so much for the love, Sarah. As well as Hannah with a 10, Chris with a 5, Matthew, thank you so much for the $10, saying day 3 of donating you. I remember you from the last 2 days. Thank you, Matthew. As well as Kirsten saying, W. Dean's girlfriend, please put this towards your date night. Thank you so much for the $10. As well as Lars, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, saying sending some extra money for a consensual date. Thank you for the love, Lars. Jamie and Catherine with the $5. Peter, thank you so much for the $100 over on Venmo. Holy fuck, show some love to Peter for the $100, who says, because fuck Steve, sick MAGA cultist. Thank you so much for the $100, Peter. Did I just
get a percentage of all that?
Did I just exploit Peter for the $100? Did I just exploit Peter for the $100?
I should get,
Charlie. He's exploited. Charlie, thank you for the $5. Hannah with the 5.
I'm giving you content.
Wait, are you asking for a free handout? Sit down. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Mr. Conservative Man. As well as Hannah, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Laney with the $5 as well. Jose, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, saying donating to make this fool jealous. Yvonne, thank you so much for the $100 over on Venmo. Holy fuck. Yvonne and Jessica with $100 on PayPal. Holy fuck. Yvonne with $100 says keep cooking. Thank you so much for your kindness. What's
a lie?
Wait, so you literally are you're so fucking pissed off?
Show me Yvonne, $100 PayPal. Show it to me. What the hell am I looking at? Oh, there you go.
Oh my god, dude, insanity. Thank you so much for the love, Yvonne, as well as thank you so much for the love, Jessica with $100, who says thank you for standing up for all the women against the predator that Steve probably is. Thank you for the $100, Jessica. Show some love to Jessica down below in that comment section. As well as Tori. Thank you so much for the $100 as well over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Tori. Tori with $100 says fuck Donald Trump and fuck this guest too. Thank you for the $100, Tori. Rebecca, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love, Rebecca. Kara, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo too, says fuck Steve. Thank you, Kara and Rebecca. Brandy, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo, who just drops a red heart. Thank you so much for the love, Brandy. And then Claire, thank you for the $15. Shut up, Steve. Claire, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Jordan with a 5 and Abigail with a 2. Thank you guys so much, as well as Carlos. Thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, who says fuck Steve. Roberta, thank you for the $10 as well. Elizabeth with a $5. Thank you so much for the kindness. And Michael, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat, saying fuck Steve. Diana, thank you so much for the $10 on YouTube Super Chat, who said I wasn't going to give money today, but that guy changed my mind when he told me to. As well as Lenny, thank you so much for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat, who says stay staunch. Heather, thank you for the 10. Thank you so much, Heather. I'd also like to thank, 1 second, sir. I'm still thanking my donors. I'd really appreciate it if you'd hold on. DK, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Oh, Maya, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal, who says here's even more money to make this guest mad. Thank you so much for the love. Listen, professional debate doesn't include...
Little kids like you don't make me mad. Are you kidding me? Come on now.
The donations made you mad. You got so fucking pissed you denied they even existed.
I'm not pissed at all. I just think it's pathetic that people give you money for no reason.
Oh, can we get some baby bottles in the chat from Adman Steve?
I made plenty of money, buddy. I'm not worried about you.
If you made plenty of money, then you wouldn't be talking the way you are about my donations. Just saying.
No, I think it's pathetic. You don't think it's pathetic that people give you that kind of money?
I don't think it's pathetic at all that people want to support the work that we do. Oh my God, how pathetic is Fit Dad for the $100 over on Super Chat, saying, Steve, shut the hell up. Thank you so much for the $100. Oh my God, how pathetic is Heidi for the $20, who said, thank you, Dean, for educating us. Steve is likely an abuser himself. That's why he defends this shit. Thank you for the $20, Heidi. As well as Steven, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you for being so pathetic, Steven. Thank you so much. Thank you, Steven. As well as Michael, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Britton. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal, saying he's denying the donations the way that Trump denies the Epstein files. Susan, thank you so much for the $150 donation on Venmo. What the fuck? Susan with $150 says, of course you want some, Steve. Free handout. No. Steve with $150 says, fuck Steve. Thank you for the work you do against predators like this. Thank you so much for being so pathetic, Susan. Micah, thank you for the $10. Thank you for being pathetic. Christian with the $5. Thank you for being pathetic. Natalie, thank you so much for the $25 who says, keep making Steve angry. Thank you so much for being pathetic. As well as Kiana, thank you so much for the $40 over on PayPal who said, aha, Steve, you're a fucking loser. You're the one that's pathetic. Thank you for being so pathetic. You donated $40. Thank you so much, Kiana. As well as Matthew, thank you for the $20 saying, Steven, you're a goose. Thank you for the work you do, Dean. Thank you so much for the love, Matthew. Thank you for being pathetic. Fabian, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal. Thank you for being pathetic. Olivia, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. Oh my God, I'm so fucking proud and happy that you're so fucking pathetic. Thank you so much for being so pathetic. Holy fucking shit. As well as Lenny, thank you so much for another 20 euros over on Super Chat. Thank you for being so pathetic. Oh, Susan, thank you for being pathetic and sending $20 over on PayPal. Sarah with the $2 on Venmo, thank you for being pathetic. Kimber, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo saying, fuck Steven, this goes to the fun for the date night. Thank you so much. And Emily, holy fuck. Emily, dude, Steve, how pathetic do you think Emily is? She just donated $200.
Wow. That's amazing. Imagine how easily I rage baited her to give you $200.
Oh, now he's trying to say that it's all rage bait. When the plan backfired, now it's all rage bait. Thank you so much for the $200, Emily. Let's go. I'm so happy that you're so fucking pathetic. Emily with the $200 says, fuck you, Steve. Yeah, the answer to that question is actually yes, and maybe some introspection to that point should be required. Thank you. Like, actually, the answer to that question is literally yes. That should make you think. So Emily with a $200 says, fuck you, Steve. You will never be half the man you think you are. Thank you so much for the $200, Emily. Amy with the $50 on Venmo. Dude, Amy with the $50 on Venmo says, shut up, Steve. Thank you. Charlie with the $50. Thank you so much for the love. Jesus Christ. Charlie, yes, you can find the VOD for this on YouTube after the fact. Thank you for the $50, Charlie. Brianna and Lance, thank you both for the $5. You guys are so pathetic. Thank you so much. Gabriella, thank you so much for the $35 over on PayPal. Thank you for being so pathetic. Let's fucking go. Genevieve, thank you for the 20 Canadian dollars on PayPal who says, enjoy your date night. Take Steve down. Thank you for the 20 Canadian dollars. Brittany with the $20 as well. Thank you, Brittany. Dude, what the fuck is going on? Morgan, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Miguel, thank you for the $5. Emily, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Kiana, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo who says, shut the fuck up, Steve. Lee, thank you for the $50 on Venmo who says, fuck you, Steve. Oh my God. Bid with the $5 on Venmo who says, keep crying, Steve. Dude, he's already dead. He already left. Y'all are still going at it. Samantha and Blair, I appreciate you both so much for the $5. Thank you so much, dude. I swear, dude, I couldn't even read half of these donations, by the way. I couldn't even read them because, like, I would be violating the TOS in doing so. Dude, Jin Man Tonic, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube, who says, Dean, defender of the pathetic, you've shown your quality, sir. Thank you so much for the $50, Jin, as well as John with the $20, who says, love you, Dean, stay humble and be kind to each other. God bless you. John, I'd try my best. I'd try my best to stay kind. As well as Kyle, thank you for the $20, who says, fuck you, Steve. Maz, thank you so much for the $20. She says, grown man talking about rage baiting. Bro, so fucking real. That is kind of crazy. Okay, all right. I think that we're all caught up. Let's see if we have anybody else here. Shannon with the $10 who says, hashtag team pathetic. Thank you so much. Ashley, thank you for the $20 on PayPal who says, once again, fuck you, Steve. Dude. Ado, thank you for the $15 over on PayPal. Jeremy, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. That it essentially just says, oh, actually, let's go ahead and read Jeremy's message. Jeremy with the $20 says, Steve's root issues that he fundamentally believes. Let's see here. Believes all men naturally behave as predators and therefore excuses it. Yeah, and you know the only reason he thinks that is because he's probably one himself. Thank you for the $20. You're absolutely right. Zach, thank you for the $20 on PayPal who says, fuck you, Steve. Dude, thank you so much. Catalina, guys, he's dead. You guys can stop now. I mean, I really appreciate, I really appreciate you guys for the love, you know? Like, I really, thank you, but you guys are totally good to stop now. Like, he's been gone. He's been dead. Dude, it's still going. Yo, dude. Yo, he's gone. He's gone, bro. He's gone. You guys can start still going. Oh my God. Catalina, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Catalina, who said, fuck you, Steve. I said thank you for educating people. Thank you for the $50, Catalina. Deirdre, oh my God. Oh, dude, Deirdre, thank you so much for the $250 donation over on PayPal. Jesus Christ, Deirdre. That is DEIRDRE, Deirdre with a $250. Jesus Christ, thank you so much for the love, Deirdre. Says, does Steve not hear his own disrespect for women? What a misogynist. I will pray for him. Fuck you, Steve. Thank you for the love, Deirdre. That is insane. Thank you so much. Sam with the $6 and the 66 says, rip Steve. Travis with the $5 says, Steve's wife fixed her finishes if he even has one. Kim with the $5 from a pathetic supporter. Thank you so much. And then Zach, thank you for the $20 on Venmo, who says, fuck you, Steve. Wow. All right. Guys. Guys, listen. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the love. I'm fucking mind blown right now. I don't even know what to say. Okay, I think that we're done. Listen. Oh my God. Listen, I first want to start off by saying, thank you for validating how I feel on the inside. You know, like talking to Steve there, I was like so close to just crashing out. And there was like multiple points where I had to completely regain my composure and my patience because I just thought what he was saying was like so gross, so disgusting, so deplorable. And I just kind of felt like I was alone in that almost because I'm the one that's actually talking to him. But then just like reading all of those messages just makes me feel like I'm not alone. And that's a great fucking feeling. Great fucking feeling. And then second part here, holy fucking shit. Thank you so much for like all of the love. Like I just thank you. Like that is insane. Like literally we just had like 100 people. It like dude, thank you guys so much for your kindness. Okay, let's get some Steve fucking L's and some donor W's down below in that comment section. I just don't even know what to say. I don't deserve that. Realistically, no one does, right? Well, I mean, actually, I could think of a couple causes. I could definitely really deserve that. I take that one back. But I'm not one of the ones that does deserve it. So it's just like I genuinely do appreciate you guys, and it is always my goal to stay like humble in that fact and to stay realistic, you know. And so far, I've been really good at doing that. And it hasn't really taken much effort because it's just like, holy shit. It's just insane. Just thank you guys for the outpour of love. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm like literally like looking for words right now because I just thank you guys for the outpour of love. Wow. I know I've been doing this for years, but I just still feel like the same 17, 18-year-old kid in many ways that I was when I started doing this. And that will just never not just absolutely take the words out of my mouth. Just thank you guys for the love. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up in here. I was telling you guys, I'm taking my girlfriend on a date tonight. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice date.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
19.
Okay, what year are you born in?
2006 of August.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
Well, I just want to start this off by saying Cookie King mugs the fuck out of you, bro.
Yeah, that Melt Max scene was going crazy. So real, so real. You know, he's been working on himself. Like, I'm actually like genuinely impressed. Like, good for him.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen him, dude.
You might mog me, but why do you support Trump?
Well, honestly, I'm not like too educated on either side. I just wanted to say that on the clip for him.
Okay, all right. Well, enjoy your clip. We're gonna go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. No, dude, Cookie's been putting the work in. Cookie's really been putting the work in. Good for him. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Hello.
Hey, are you MAGA?
Hello.
Hi, Miss
Hi.
Batts. Are you
How
MAGA?
are you?
I'm doing really good.
Well, I'm like Republican. I agree on certain things.
Okay,
for
but like,
sure.
knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to November, who'd you vote for?
See, the thing is, I just don't agree with a lot of things that Kamala was wanting to do. So I was pretty torn. That's why I voted for Trump.
Okay, 1 second. I just got to say this. I just got a text from Parker that says, dude, your guest is so bad. Somebody just sent me money saying, fuck Steve. Dude. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. I wasn't really listening to what you just said there because I was reading Parker's message. That is so fucking funny. Once again, just knowing everything that you do now about the last 8 months of Donald Trump's presidency, if you were teleported back to November, would you still vote for him?
I probably wouldn't vote for him, but I wouldn't have voted for Kamala either.
Okay. Well, I mean, you definitely should have voted for Kamala. I hear like kids in the background. Do you have kids, and how old are they?
I do have kids, but there's some reasons I felt like she was against kids, like with her whole abortion rights and stuff like that, and also with like where we live here in New York City, like there was a lot of problems with certain immigrants that, some of my family is legal immigrants, so I felt like, if you want to come into the country, you should do it the right way.
Okay. Actually, so usually when I have a guest that's very clearly indecisive and they don't really know where they sit, I kick them. But I actually want to talk to you. Let's have that conversation quickly before we hop into it. There was just a handful of people that sent donations in about Steve. As I was thanking everybody, I'm just gonna thank them super duper quickly, and then let's hop into the debate. I'm so sorry to hold you here, but Jesus Christ, fucking dude, Natasha, thank you so much for the $100 over on Venmo. I can't not thank you so much for the love, Natasha. That is so fucking kind of you, Jesus. Let's get 1,000 Natasha W's down below in that chat. Natasha literally 2 minutes ago says fuck Steve, dude. I wasn't even there. She says fuck Steve. I wasn't even there. Love your lives, Dean. I've been watching you for a long time and watch you daily. All the love in the world to you, Natasha. Fuck Steve. As well as Haley. Thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Once again, 15 minutes after Steve left, saying fuck Steve. Thank you for the $25, Nicole. Vicky with the $10 over on Venmo says, what did I miss with Steve? It's where that conversation's over now. I appreciate you for the $10, Vicky. And then Serenity. Dude, thank you so much for the $100 over on Venmo as well 3 minutes ago. How is this still going? Dude, Serenity with $100 says, Dean, I've been watching your lives every day for the last year. I will always support your disgust for these guests and the advocacy of victims. Listen, Serenity, I recognize your name. You have been here for a year. Thank you so much for the $100. That is just absolutely insane. I do not deserve that. Please, please, please show some love in the chat to Serenity, Nicole, and Natasha. Guys, thank you so much for your kindness. As well as Kara, Jeremy, and Ace, I appreciate you for the $5. Alana with a $20 saying fuck Steve, appreciate you for the love. Jack, thank you so much for the $10 saying Steve's an asshole and you're a good dude. Thank you so much for the love. And then Lauren with a $15 on Venmo says fuck Steve. Scott with a $10 says more Steve bashing. John, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo who says brilliance. Thank you so much for the love, John. Show some love to John. And then we're all caught up over on Venmo. You guys are fucking cracking me up. Holy shit, dude. There's gonna be people sending $10 on Venmo in a month saying fuck Steve. Michael, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal, who says proudly pathetic. Enough said. Use this to get some appetizers. Dude, I definitely will use that to get some appetizers. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for the $20. Show some love to Michael. As well as Akayo, thank you for the $10 on PayPal, who says, do you think that Steve was as bad as a mom and daughter 2 days ago? I'd say very similar levels. And then Adam, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. I see that you want me to keep your message private, so I will, but thank you for the $10. As well as Francisco, thank you for the $30 on PayPal, who says it's still fuck Steve, by the way. Thank you for the $30, Francisco. Thank you so much. And then one last one here. We're finally done, I think. Sarah, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. Thank you for your kindness, Sarah, who says just because we love you and what you do. Thank you so much for the love, Sarah. Seriously, thank you so much. Huge shout out to Sarah. And then Fernanda, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, who says you have such a powerful voice, Dean. The way you break things down actually makes people think. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're making an impact. Thank you so much, Fernanda. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. And we'll go and hop into the debate now. I mean, they're just still coming through. Okay, I'm gonna hold them off until the end of the stream because this will be the last guest, and I'll thank everybody that I haven't thanked already. But let's just go and hop back into the debates for now. So you think that abortion should be banned? Why is that?
I think that certain forms of abortion should be banned. I obviously agree with, if there's certain circumstances where the mother is at risk, of having, serious complications in the pregnancy, then I obviously agree with that. I just don't agree with the late-term abortions, the using abortion as, forms of birth control when there's many other options that, I feel like are more suitable.
Yeah. So first and foremost, late-term abortions were just like unrelated to what Kamala Harris ran on or what Donald Trump did to overturn Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade imposed federal protections on all abortions up until viability at 21 weeks. After that point, the state had the ability to legislate on it. They still do, and they still would have if Kamala Harris had won and reinstituted the same protections.
So she didn't support late-term abortions?
Well, she supported Roe v. Wade, which was federal protections for elective abortions until 21 weeks and federal protections for like circumstances of life of the mother or grape, like full term.
Okay.
Right. And do you think that grape victims should be able to access abortion? Because when I asked you for your exceptions, you just kind of said, well, life of the mother. So what about victims of rape?
I feel like it's kind of a hard area. I agree with I think that you don't fight fire with fire. Like if it was me personally, I wouldn't, because I feel like the child didn't do anything wrong. Yes, it's a terrible thing, and I 100% don't agree with grape. It's just, I feel like the child's life is still important, and they still deserve a chance at life. I was born of grape, and, my mom actually decided that, even though what my father did was terrible, that I should still deserve life, and I think that that's valuable.
Well, listen, I think that if an individual is raped, they should have the ability to make that decision. That's really not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, do you think that they should be forced into maintaining their pregnancy, even if
I definitely don't think anybody should be forced into anything. I think everyone has free will, and they're allowed to.
So you think that victims of rape, legally speaking, should be able to access abortion? You're just saying that you personally want it.
Yes.
Okay, in policy, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is where you should be, and I'm happy you're there. Maybe on the back end, your actual thought process is there. Saying you think it's wrong for a victim of rape to access abortion. I staunchly disagree with you there, but listen, I'm gonna be honest. I will happily meet you in the middle at thinking that they should have legal access to abortion. I think that's hopefully. That's the middle ground. I will take that. I was
just saying that I think all life is valuable. And the stance on why we voted for Trump, it's more on there was a lot of things with illegal immigrants over here, a lot of issues where they were committing a lot of crimes against women over here in New York City specifically. And, as a woman and, a mother of children, I feel like, we have to protect our people that live here as well.
Okay. First and foremost, undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, including violent crimes against women, than natural U.S.-born citizens.
Well, I know that there was some instances over here where there was some individuals who harassed women. I know that there was one who specifically set a woman on fire in the subway, which was pretty really upsetting, actually, that had happened.
Right. I think here's what I think. If an undocumented immigrant is committing violent crimes on American soil, they deserve to either be thrown in jail or deported and thrown in jail. 110%. Okay.
Of course.
We could agree there. But I think it's just hypocritical for you to be well, if an undocumented immigrant does it, punish. If Trump doesn't,
I think everyone should be punished regardless. I was just saying more on I think that if you're going to come in the country, you should do it the right way. That's the only thing that I stand on the whole Trump stance, is that they're trying to make sure that if you're going to come in the country, you're not going to be undocumented. You're going to go through dual processing. You're going to get your fingerprints done. We're going to know exactly who you are, make sure you're not a criminal, those type of things.
Okay, well, what I'd say here is the way and the means in which they're using to reduce undocumented entry are very bad, right? Would you be able to name the good policy that the Trump administration has implemented to effectively reduce undocumented entry?
I think just more making the border stricter.
But what's the specific policy? How have they made the border stricter?
I think just not letting the border be open. I would assume
it was open under Biden and Harris?
I think it was open.
So then what did Trump do to close it?
I think just putting more officers there and making sure that they don't let people in, like down south, I believe they were letting a lot of undocumented immigrants in.
Okay. Well, I mean, Biden had many officers on the border. I mean, he literally got Mexico to deploy 15,000 troops. And I haven't seen any massive deployment of troops under Trump so far. I mean, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen any evidence for it. I think the reason why we've seen such sharp and drastic reduction of undocumented entry isn't because of Trump and good policy, but it's rather because of Trump and his fascism. I think that he's just scaring the entry away. You know, like he is.
I'm not saying I agree 100%
He is coming down with
Trump.
he's coming down with like hard on immigrants right now. Straight up tyrannical, saying that they're poisoning the blood of the country, saying that they've all escaped mental asylums and prisons, illegally deporting people like Abrigo Garcia to centers for terrorists in El Salvador, where he was then beat, tortured, and starved. Okay, black bagging college students and taking them to detention centers 1,000 miles away against the withholding order of a federal judge. Okay, trying to deport Venezuelan immigrants without any due process and sending them to El Salvador, having one judge rule that he could be held in contempt of court because they weren't given due process, and the Trump administration knew that, and they still unconstitutionally and illegally remove them. You know, detaining legal immigrants like Mahmoud Khalil for 3 months in a detention center, even though he's a green card holder, or like the 510 confirmed instances of human rights abuse on behalf of ICE agents towards people on the streets and in detention centers in the last 8 months alone. I think it is these facts and more, right, that are reducing undocumented entry by literally scaring it away. But this is bad not only because it's immoral, but it's also bad because it's short term. And the moment that we have a president that doesn't want to violate human rights, that doesn't want to infringe on the Constitution and the constitutional rights of those that have them, right, then that incentive structure is going to naturally reverse. And that's why I disagree with the quote-unquote immigration policy of Trump.
What about you, like your stances on like, I feel like Biden was pretty racist, I feel like, to the black community. There was times where like I seen him like clearly not understanding what he was saying, where he had said that poor children are just as valuable as white children. And that clearly was an attack on black children. I have black children, and I just felt like that whole thing kind of made me feel eerie about it. I don't really remember seeing Trump ever say anything against the black community in a negative aspect on TV.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I'm not sure if Biden said that last comment, but I will say that Biden has done and said like many racist things in his career. I mean, just like talk about his involvement with the crime bill, right? And I would say that like in comparative analysis between Biden and Trump, I think that Biden has done racist things for the most part. I think he's acknowledged that and he's tried to like hold himself accountable. Yeah. But then Donald Trump has done very racist things. In fact, in my mind, right, many other more racist things in many ways. And he's never apologized and he's never held himself accountable. But I mean, the comparison this time around wasn't between Biden and Trump. It was Trump and Kamala Harris, a black woman who very obviously wasn't racist. So if you care about racism, the option should have been obvious in the election.
She kind of, you know, like followed what Biden, you know, she was the vice president. So she obviously like agreed with some of his stances on things.
So do you think that like all black Americans that voted for Biden in 2020 and all black Americans that voted for Kamala Harris in 2024 are responsible for like racism against them because they voted for somebody that you think is racist?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I mean, even just using your logic here, following somebody that is racist, this would make you
no,
racist.
I'm just saying,
because you're following Donald Trump, who denied housing opportunity to black tenants in 1972
I didn't
and was sued
say
by the
that
Justice
I
Department
agreed
in New
with
York.
Donald Trump.
You're following Donald Trump, who came out and said in 1992 that he thinks all black people are lazy, then affirmed that something that he said in 1997. You're racist for following Donald Trump, you know, who like perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama, literally saying that, well, because he's black, he must not have been born in America, but was rather born in Kenya.
First off, honestly, I have no idea why you're attacking me. I never said that I agree with Trump. I said I was a Republican.
Oh,
I just said that when you're given...
I'm applying your logic that you attempted to apply to Kamala Harris to you and as it would relate to you and your support of Trump.
You asked me if I would go back, who would I vote for? And I just said I didn't agree with... I wouldn't vote for Kamala. And now, obviously, there's certain things that have come out that, you know, back then when Trump was running...
The first question that I asked you is, knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to November, who'd you vote for?
Yeah, and I said that I wouldn't have voted for Kamala and I wouldn't have voted for Trump.
Okay, so you just would have not voted at all. Okay, well then no voice, no vote, I guess. All right, dude. I just got like another message. This time it was from Santana. Why did I just get a random donation for $5 about a guest you had that said hashtag fuck Steve? Oh man, you guys are fucking cracking me up. You motherfuckers are cracking me up. Holy shit. Let's go to catch up here real quick. Natalie, thank you for the $14 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love. Show some love to Natalie. Natalie says, Canada loves you. Thank you for striving so hard to educate the masses. Appreciate you for the love. Thank you, Natalie, for the 14. As well as Alexandria, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Alexandria. Alexandria says, Dean, the reason why I'm donating to you is because it's important to remember and promote and support women, down with the patriarchy and violence against women. Dude, I think that like the patriarchy, violence against women is one of the more pressing issues, if not in my mind, the most pressing issue in America today. Particularly considering the fact that there's 66 million American women and girls in our 50 states that do not have access to goddamn healthcare, right? Which I view as a human rights infringement. I have an argument for that. Due to Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade. I wish that more people would talk about that. And it's been something that I've talked about for a while. It's like one of like my main prerogatives of like things that I want to fix, I want to solve, I want our country to do better on. It's the 66 million American women and girls that don't have access to abortion, and the 60 rape victims that got pregnant as a result of that rape that are denied access to abortion every single day in 10 of our 50 states. If you go and you look at my video that I posted with like 45 million views the night Donald Trump won the election, it says Trump won the election and because of this, women are fucked because of abortion laws and because Kamala Harris didn't win, so on and so forth. I've always seen that as one of the most pressing issues, and I think that other people should too. Lauren, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal, who says, gonna be dreaming about a stadium chanting "fuck Steve" at this point. I appreciate you for that love, Lauren. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for your kindness. Actually, Peter, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo, who says, that was me that accidentally donated to Parker. That text gave me a good laugh. I told him to keep it because, again, fuck Steve. Appreciate you for the $25, Peter. That is funny as hell. Jessica, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, who says, fuck Steve. Angela with the $5 saying, A with the $5 just came to add to the fuck Steve. Appreciate you for the love, A. Mad Scramble, thank you for the $10, who says, you deserve every penny that you fight for all of us. Minnie watching, feel alone too, but you speak for them. You're never alone, fuck Steve. I'm really happy that the lives that I do every day, the videos I make, and the community that we've created helps individuals feel a little bit less alone in this crazy world. I know I definitely would if I didn't do these lives, It's like, especially living in the red town I do. I go outside, everyone's MAGA, so it's nice to know that there's other good people out there, Appreciate you so much for the $10. And then Keith, thank you for the 10. Evelyn and Daniela, I appreciate you guys for the 5. Yoli and Estella, thank you guys for the 5. And then over on Super Chat, real quick, Hate Stairs, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, Dean needs season 11, episode 7 of the Howard Stern Show. Go, 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 go. Oh, fuck. That is the Trump one. Okay, thank you so much, Hate Stairs. Now I'll be able to actually pull up video. Let's see. Howard Stern Show, season 11, episode 7. Loki, I was just about to get off for the night. It's 4 hours, I'm going to go do the daily festivities. But I'd love to see if I could find this real quick. Let's see. Okay, I found season 11. Episode 7 is Donald Trump, The Apprentice. Okay. Is it on Hulu? No, okay, it's not on Hulu. There's just some like a random weird like Hulu website. Okay, I found it on archives.org. Okay, those are just the audio clips. It looks like this has been like scrubbed from the internet. I'm gonna have to look for that. I actually really thank you so much for giving me like this specific season and episode information. That is incredibly, incredibly kind of you. Anna with the $10 over on Venmo says, second day asking for a shout out to libraries and Dr. Carla Hayden, the first black and first female librarian of Congress, fired by Trump. Oh, well, shout out to Dr. Carla Hayden and shout out to libraries. Thank you for the $10. All right, everybody. At this point in the evening, I am going to go ahead and end the live. I have some festivities to prepare for this evening. Before I end, thank you guys so much for the love that you've shown me today. Thank you for showing up. It was a really good stream, and I'm really happy that I could be here. And I'm really sad to be going, but I will see you guys tomorrow. If you want more debates, Parker should be on here super duper shortly, I would assume. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.